We're rolling.
Right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First, like to give all praises unto
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashem,
Hashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Bashem,
Baharakah,
Kakmadash.
and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to those out there in the highways and the byway, teaching this word with sincerity. Yeah,
Yeah, Shaj, yes.
yeah, Khan. You know, from now on, the camp and the video is gonna be up on this channel because Esau snapped off the last channel talking about conspiracy theories or whatever the case may be. Which that's the time we're in. You know, they're utilizing their false angels, the AIs and the algorithms to try and come against the men of the Lord and anyone speaking anything which is contrary to their foolishness. So it is what it is. We're here now, but we don't listen. We don't get stressed. We don't get disheartened. This is nothing new. But there's a reason why I call GMSP the Most High 7. You know what I mean? Because we've been here before. And at the end of the day, when we do this work, man, we labor not in vain. Can we get that? Can we get that? Yeah, that's a good. I didn't think of that at first, right? This labor isn't in vain. You know, when we come out here in the street and we teach, or when we do the sit downs and we upload them or not upload them, and whether it's one person that heard or 2 million or 2,000, at the end of the day, when you perform this work, it's not in vain, and it's gonna achieve exactly what Yahweh Hashem Yahushai intended it to achieve. So even when the enemy come up against, then they trying to do this, do that, and stop you from doing this or arrest you or whatever they try and do. Ultimately, it's not a victory for them because the victory is ours. This gospel is going to fulfill exactly what it was meant to fulfill. So we don't lose sleep over that. You got that? We don't get bugged out over it, man. We just on to the next channel, on to the next video, on to the next speaking until this gospel be fulfilled, man.
Yeah, keep pushing on.
Yeah, that's it.
As 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. So therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable.
Right. Steadfast and unmovable, meaning we don't get disheartened, man. You know, we don't listen, man, steadfast in what? In our faith, in our belief.
Unfazed by shit.
Unfazed. And how are you unfazed? Because you know the end result.
Yep.
We know that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is, if you believe in the Most High as He is, if you know what I know. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Listen, if you believe if you believe in the Most High, right, and you believe He is the Most High, then you will be steadfast and unmovable because He's in control. He's in control of all things, and His word will be done. And if you're comforted by that word, then what can take you into discomfort? What can move you? What can move you when you believe in the unmovable, the immutable, which is the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and His power? We know we can't lose.
Impossible.
Listen, they killed Yahweh Shai, man. They thought death could give them the victory, and even then that didn't work. It flopped. So what's next? Listen, usually they call the revolver the problem solver. Usually you got a problem, you can solve most problems by putting a man to death, right? No, you know. Yeah, you can't solve this problem. They've done it before. Yep. The gospel is gonna reach 100%, man. But
Steadfast, unmovable. And again, you know, he's not going to take down his channel, you know, but he can't take down his truth. He can't take down the word. You know, Boris Channel is one of many channels out here, man. And even when he does manage to get rid of, you know, in there, lockdown, you know, all the videos or whatever that Boris be doing, the truth is still out there. You know, you can't remove the elect.
that's it.
You know,
you could burn the Bible. You know, listen, you could burn the men of the Lord because they killed the men. It's like there's nothing you can do that's gonna stop this train, man. This train is gonna be what it's gonna be. So if you are a part of this work and you're a part of this ministry and you understand that, that should make you unmovable. Even knowing that you yourself, like, even if you were to die or whatever the case may be, the word is still going to be fulfilled, man. There's nothing that Esau can do. Esau's a fool, man. He's just an arrogant fool, and you're going to get what's coming to him, man. We laugh, man. We start laughing about it. Like, the man snipes, man, and they'll start joking, and we don't fucking cry. Oh, so you're, you know,
that's it, man. The elect are still going to hear this word. You know, we're not concerned about how many subscribers people or how many views our videos are getting. It's all well and good if you're doing well, of course, but you know, most of the people that listen to our videos are not really in the street anyway. This is for the elect.
I like them Instagram followers here. When they certain times they get like their account blood, they start coming on the next account crying. Yeah, because their thing's fucked. For real. Their thing could be the end of that thing, for real, for real. Our thing ain't fucked. Man, the Lord liveth, man. He liveth forevermore. Yahweh Shai, man, he's alive forevermore. That's in the scriptures. What is that? Revelation, what, 2nd chapter? He's alive forevermore. So what's the, you know?
Revelation, 1 and 18.
Yeah.
It says, I am he that liveth and was dead. Right? The Lord got buried, man. But guess what? He came back. He straight back up. You know, he came straight back. You know?
If that ain't a setback.
You know, everything I thought was going to occur after that didn't happen. So, oh shit, he's back.
Fuck a channel, man. He's died.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate setback. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could break a leg, you could get ill. When you die, that's a big setback, right? It's supposed to be
permanent.
That's just supposed to be like, oh man, you know what I'm saying?
And I ain't going on no more.
Hey, the Lord showed that the Lord is over death even. So, and that's Esau's greatest trick, isn't it? That Esau's greatest trick is death. That's the thing that really gets him hard, right? To be able to kill people, to put people to death.
So that's his own power.
And he still can't win with that. Just don't the scripture say that well, we're gonna get it. Not even death can separate you from the love of the Heavenly Father. And the scripture said the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. So Esau, there's nothing the enemy can do. We already have the victory.
Yeah, Esau's always powerless to do anything.
We ain't nail biting, you know, like when man are watching the match and you're like, oh, and your man them are down, you know what I mean? You're down 2-0 at half time. You're like, oh, you don't, because you know, you get them that feeling like, oh man, it ain't looking good.
Unsurmountable odds. Listen, there's no odds out here that is insurmountable right here.
If it's a Messi match, you know Messi's gonna score 2-3 goals. It's in the script. They're gonna give him a free kick, you know, on the 89th minute. They're gonna bang it in. You know, it's a script.
30 yards.
Yeah, for 30 yards, perfectly in the middle of the goal. You know.
Yeah. So I am he that lived and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore.
I was trying to live it forevermore. We have a living power. The Heavenly Father and the Son, they're living powers and they're ever-present powers. They don't sleep, they don't get tired, they don't miss nothing. We're doing real powers out here, man. Like, so we ain't got nothing to be moved. We shouldn't be movable. If you understand the powers that you serve, it's all good.
If the Lord gives you that faith.
Yeah, you have to believe that, you know, if you know what I know.
And that's why we come out here with confidence.
Yeah.
You know, we come out with boldness. It's not because we're unsure about what's going on in the world and how will it end.
You activated my algorithm.
You know, we're not uncertain how it's going to end. You know how it's all going to end. We can see it. It's all going as planned. Yeah, that rain's coming. You know, it's all according to what we believe and know. According to these scriptures, man. The prophecies are being fulfilled on a daily basis, man. You know, and you might feel like, oh yeah, but things could change at the last minute, so it might be different. You know, next year might be different, might be better next year. Don't count on it. I'd rather betting, man. I wouldn't put no bets on it. You know, because this world's only going one way, man.
Yeah, man, it's going downhill, man. It's going downhill fast. The arrogance and the pride is going through the roof. So you already know. It's you know, you got NPCs, women making money, being NPCs, and it's the society's falling, man. Yeah, man. It's like a dystopian like film.
It's a fucking Black Mirror episode.
If you actually took images of what's happening now and go back 20 years ago, or 30, 40 years ago, people would be like, whoa, what's that? That's mad. You're hella creative. That's crazy shit. Now that shit's happening for real. Like it's maximum difficulty now. Like back in the day, like a man would be damaged because he knows his mom's a prostitute, and the worst case scenario was that he see like the mom bringing man in and out of the room. Like certain times you have a kid that grew up in the brothel, and that was damaging enough. Like you remember that there was a video where a bunch of black dudes went back to that yard with that white woman, and they actually went up in the white boy's room. I'm in your mama's house. You remember that video, man? They actually fucking was wake up, I'm in your mama's house. And the dude's trying to sleep. And then afterwards they went in the room and was banging out the mom and all that, and my man's in the next room. So you know he's a school shooter or he damaged. Shit like that damage you, man. But now it's worse, maximum difficulty, because
it's being praised.
These generations now, there's legit mans walking around out there that their mom's actually on video. It's bad enough hearing it. Like, yeah, like mans in school is showing you your mom, like sucking up mans, and that's damaging. Man, we at the end, man. It's maximum difficulty out here. It's crazy. Well, let me get the scripture, because you mentioned the boldness, man. And I love this scripture, so anytime I get a chance to read it. Anytime I get a chance. Wisdom of Solomon 17, I think it's 9. Wisdom of Solomon 17. Sorry, one more time. It's 12. Sorry, 12. Mixing up the numbers in my head. Right. 12 and 17. It says, for when men will not believe that thou art a full power, and there's the reason it says not thou art a power, some type of power. No, a full power, meaning Yahweh Shem Yahushai can do anything. You're omnipotent. He could raise the dead. You know, Yahweh Shai showed the taste of that power. He got the keys to the algorithms, man. He got the codes. He got the keys to hell and death. Right? I mean, people are looking at this white boy, right? Like he got the codes. Esau ain't got the codes. He's arrogant. Like Roberts posted the other day, like an AI, and Esau's making AI women. And I ain't gonna lie, the woman look bad as hell. But bro, the AI has taken women that already look bad as hell and recombinated it into a that picture. Ain't not creating nothing new. No. It's a shadow, and guess what? That woman don't exist, so nobody can't go up inside that woman, and you can't replicate that woman. The Most High already does that. He literally randomly replicates fine-ass women. They get born every day and grow. For real. But people are looking at Esau like he's done something great, like he got the codes. Esau ain't got the codes. He's like the original. Listen, Yahweh Shai took water. What does water have in it? Water has hydrogen, oxygen, and some trace elements, right? Mm. Some trace minerals, and he turned it into wine. You know how complicated wine is, as opposed to water in terms of the chemical compounds that make up wine. And the fact that you can get wine out of grapes is a process you have to. It's a process. There was no process here. It was done. You know, you didn't have to sit there and wait for it, crush no grapes, nothing. Right? Ferment it, none of that has to go on. They all took place at one time, at one moment. The Lord already showed that he needs a full power. He silencing the wind, silencing the storm, raising people from the dead after they done decomposing from the water, walking on water, and so many miracles. The Lord is a full power, man. He done so many wondrous and amazing things for our people, especially that, you know, as I say, the scripture speaks about there was not enough books that contain all these works, man. It's mad. Like, and so if you truly believe he's a full power, man, that should make you bold, like what we're gonna read. You're like, yo, what's this guy on? This guy, this arrogant monkey, this primitive arrogant monkey's running around here with his technology, bro. Like, it's arrogance. Genetic modification and robots, you know, microscopes. Look at me, like, and everyone's gassed off this guy like he's God or something. Like, he ain't nothing, man. These motherfuckers are still dying. You know what I mean? it's sad to see that people worship this man the way they do. But our power is a true power that can deliver you in any instant from anything. And it's gonna prove that when them nuclear missiles hit.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. The 12 and 17. For when men will not believe that thou art full power, thou shewest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest. That's when people are going to understand why the prophets have always been bold in the face of death, in the face of, there's a reason. Because the prophets know the power of the Lord. They've spoken of it. The prophets will be like, listen, man, you can kill me. It's all right, man. I'll be back. Like, what do you, my God is all knowing, all powerful, all seeing. What are you going to do? What are you going to, you know who, if you know what I know, come on, man. That's why we're so bold with it, man. Because we can be bold, not in ourselves, but in the power that we serve, man. That has done such great things, man, and we're going to do more great things, and can do greater things than we can even imagine.
Yep. Because out here, we're powerless, man. We don't have no power of our own. We only have the power of the Most High, you know, creates, you know. And that's what I mean. All the situations that we're going to find ourselves in going forward, you know, in the time of trouble, man, the Most High is going to be there with us. Yahweh is going to be there with us, man, to protect us.
That's why we laugh, man, that your exercise is in futility, but it's necessary. It is. The Most High got you running like a hamster, just playing your role till you get TKO'd in the 10th round. It's like the Lord's carrying, making a good show. It's putting on a good drama, but that's what it is. That's what them promoters do. Certain time they're gonna fight, they'll make it look good, you know, but go down in the 10th. You know what I mean? That's all it is, man.
Guys, obviously a bomb.
Yeah, man. It's what I mean. What would you say? Big drama show. Yeah, what a big drama show. But end of the day, taking down our channels, arresting us, putting us to death, whatever you want to do, it's just a drama. It's just for the drama's sake. It's not like there's a chance that you're actually going to win or achieve anything from it. It's an exercise in your own futility.
And, you know, like we keep saying, this is like the Most High script, man. This is his movie. There's got to be drama, man. There's got to be, you know, some sort of opposing force.
Man, everybody knows, right? Superman win in the end, man. It don't matter what Lex do. You know, it's just drama.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows, like, you know, at the end of the day, Lex goes, man.
This is the same way, you know, because Superman for Doomsday, Superman died, right? But we know that wasn't the end of Superman.
Yeah,
You just knew. You knew it wasn't. You know? But it's like, you know, again, Yahweh Shai was resurrected. So it didn't matter that he killed the man.
Big drama shit.
Yahweh Shai was gonna, he knew he was going to come back. He already knew. And then, you know, I said, Yahweh Shai come back, and he returns to the Father, and now he's going to come back on earth a second time to rule, to take over.
It's good to say he's sitting on the right hand of the Most High to such a time as his enemies be made his footstool. Man, that's through. He's through. And you have to fill yourself with that knowledge every day. And that's one of the things that separates you from the boneheaded jakes out here. Because these jakes that don't understand the scriptures and understand the nature of the drama that they're in, that's why they're affected. That's why they get so affected that they want to love Esau. They want to suck him up because they just think insurmountable mountain that they can't overcome.
They fear him.
They fear Esau. They already believe they can overcome, but we will overcome because according to the flesh we threw, but in the spirit we've already won. So both mindsets, both things if you're fleshly, you're gonna have that defeatist mindset. So that makes you submit and bow down. But if you're spiritual, you got that supremacy mindset, that victorious mindset. You're like, man, if you don't get you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't bowing down to you. You already lost, my man. Like, you finished. So it puts you in two different. That's why the Bible says, fret not because of evildoers, and envy not the oppressor. That's why we don't want to be Esau, because we know what's going to happen to Esau. So we're not going to try and copy his path. A lot of Jake want to copy Esau's path because they think Esau's winning, so I'm going to do what he's doing. It's like, no.
Join the winning side. Well, it seems like the winning side, right?
Oh yeah, they want to join in. Yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. You know, pause. Yeah, but and guess what? That's because you're ignorant, and that's why you might get a little bit angry at the wicked, but you don't go to the extent where it's destroying you, because at the end of the day, you know his latter end. You know that he definitely ain't getting away with it.
And we know for now this is his time. So he's gonna have the advantage over you.
Yeah.
In this world, because it's his world.
So you move on. You know, like, listen,
I'm gonna get my time. You know, you're gonna get your opportunity, man.
And there's a difference in that. A guy that, when you don't know that a guy's gonna get what's coming to them, it's extremely frustrating for you. But when you know, yeah, but they gonna get it, it's different kind of energy that you got. We're not like these bone-headed jakes out here. A lot of these jakes, man, they think Esau's God. You know, no matter what they say, they're already defeated. We're not defeated, man. All right, that was it on that. Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
So yeah, back in Revelation 1:18, it says, I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and death.
That's right. The Lord has got the keys of hell and death. It's the Lord's judgment, man.
Yep. He's in control. This is back in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse. I'm gonna read up a little bit, right? I'm gonna get verse 57, right? It says, but thanks be to the Most High Yahweh, which giveth us the victory. So it's a short thing already. We would have been given victory, right? Man. But why? Right? It's going to say through our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Yeah, because the Lord made the set. Listen, the only reason why the enemy and evil has power over us is because of our sin. Because that's the algorithm. That's why we're catching hell. Brothers are catching hell all the time. It's because the sins we committed set up the algorithm where we got to catch hell. It's not because Esau's some evil genius and he's so smart, or no, it's not really about him. It's about us. If we had kept the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, the first covenant, Esau will be right where he belongs, which is at the bottom of our heel. David already had these men under subjection, and there was nothing they could have done about that. When we was in our power, in our righteous state, the Bible tells you that the wicked shall not. Sorry, the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hand to iniquity. Yeah, and it's true. So every time you hear us complaining about in Africa, because a lot of them West African countries and Central is Jake, man. Then there's Hamite, because remember, when you're thinking about Africa, when you're thinking about these African countries, remember that these are all been formulated by Esau. Like, there really is no such thing as Nigeria. Nigeria was made by Esau. There's various tribes in Nigeria. There's various tribes in all these different nations. There's a lot of Jake in Nigeria. There's a lot of Jake in Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Uganda, Congo, right? And that's why they're catching hell and under the curses, man. Now, Esau take them lands. Yeah? In South and Central America, took the lands. But why? But it tells you, the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hand to iniquity. Now, we go back into Yahweh Shai. The Bible says, how are we going to overcome him? We overcame him through the blood of the Lord and the word of our testimony. So Yahweh Shai already made the sacrifice for us to overcome this devil, and he is going to be defeated. He's already lost. He lost back then. It's already been written. It just has to manifest itself.
Yep. And all these things were spoken of from the beginning. That's how long ago it's been in the works, man. You think what the Lord spoken clearly ain't going to come to fruition at the end where it's supposed to come? Everything else has come to pass.
That's why Esau's getting punched up. These normal everyday Edomites, they're getting punched up in the street by Jake and all kind of madness, man. You know, the Alabama thing, man. Yeah. Hey, but you know what, man? Listen, Jacob, let Jake have the little victory, man. I enjoyed the little victory. I like watching Esau getting punched up, man. But that's not the end of it. But it's telling that you think that could have happened in Alabama 100 years ago, and then it go viral, and then you even got crackers got to be like, yeah, them crackers deserve to get the turncoat crackers, like, yeah, you know what, man. Yeah, man, he had, even the women, they were like, yeah, the women had to get hit with that chair, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that shows you that Esau, he's finished, man. He's finished. He's done out here, man. It's all a changing of the energy, a changing of the time.
But that's it, man. This world is confusion, right? And we see the divide in Esau's kingdom will take place now. You know, the division is everywhere in this kingdom. You know, and that only means one thing, because the Lord said, if Satan divided against himself, how can he stand?
Yeah, it's also the Edomite on the thing talking about Britain ain't got no culture. They stole every culture. Like, no, you know,
spirit, you know?
It's a bit dumb because Britain does have a culture. Like,
no,
but I mean, as in, there is such a thing as British culture. Like, that's just stupid. Like, yeah, that's culture. You know what I mean? Like, I like, you know, them man have the roast chicken dinner and all that. It's like, how can you say, how come there's a cracker? You sit there and say Britain has no culture. You not read the
what's that game, Polo?
Yeah, they got British. They got culture. You just said you're not cultured because you're just watching MTV.
Was it not?
But he's there dogging out his own people, man. Like, so these men are just totally gone, man. How do you dog out your own people and that? Yeah, they stole everything. Like, wow, you turncoat, man. If I was a British Edomite, I'll find that guy and punch him up.
Where's your patriotism, man?
What's wrong with this guy, man? That's, you know. Oh man, Esau's finished, man.
His time's up, man, and everyone can see it, man. That's why everyone's taking all these other nations around them are looking at them, mocking them, man. They know it's time. They smell blood, you know.
Yeah, good.
Yes, yeah, so, but thanks be to our power, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
So we're going to keep doing this work. That's the most important thing. You know, all the things we go through in our daily lives and all these different things, but we got to come out here and speak this word. Because it's a necessity. It has to happen. Always abounding. And know that it's your labor not in vain. This work actually is the only work that's really going to provide fruit. Because guess what, man? Say like you labor to build a house. House gonna be destroyed, right? Yep. You labor, say like you work like brothers, because remember like IUIC said brothers don't work, you know, we're bums. All right. That's why brother got the smartphone with the internet connection and the streaming, because you know we're bums living on our mama's couch and all this. That's what they were saying anyway. Just absolute foolishness. But you work and you might buy this and buy that, but we're not going to take none of these possessions into the kingdom. Because when we get beamed up, we're not getting beamed up with suitcases and you know what I mean? Like, you know, that's somebody actually moving or something like, hold on, wait. And you're going to have your suitcases ready to go up in the chariots to move, you know, with your Jordans in there. And
but you know, this is why the story of Lot and his wife, right? In Gomorrah, something in Gomorrah was like a testimony to that, because Lot's wife turned back because she had possessions. All the possessions were in that place. They got destroyed. Yeah, they came out empty. They have to duck out quick. And we're gonna come out the same way. We're gonna carry nothing with us, man.
Yeah, what are you gonna bring? We're not gonna bring like certificates and you know what I mean, like certification. But the only thing we're gonna bring with us is us, man, and our faith.
Don't forget your ID, huh?
Yeah, your ID and all that stuff. Oh yeah, hold on, that. Well, my passport, you know, and all that stuff. Anything you labor in, and don't think we're saying that. Oh, that means don't do nothing. Don't be a retard. Yeah, get your qualifications if it means that you can get a job, put bread on your table, and put bread on your table, man. You know, we're not like like, you know, don't do nothing. If there's a qualification that you could use to make money, because you need money in this world, that's not going to interfere with the work of the Lord, then you gotta do what you gotta do, man. You get what qualification you need to get. You need to apply for a promotion. The point is though, is that all those things are shadowy, because they're things of this world, and they're not gonna go forward into the next world. You understand what I'm saying? It's the elect that's gonna go forward into the next world, not all the other ones. Yeah.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I'm just going to start from verse 29 here. Right? It says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short, right? Because we're living in the last days. All right, and we're at the very end now. You know? So this is true then, it's even true now. More so, right? Since time is short, it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they as none. Right, so you gotta keep your focus has got to be on this word first and foremost. If you do anything in this world, man, your main priority has got to be this word, man, because it's the most profitable thing to you, to your family and whatever, right?
Yeah, you gotta dedicate that time, and in this time is, you know, time is money, man. Time is currency.
Yep.
You gotta dedicate time to this truth, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. Right? So you know, you got your joy, you buy things and whatever. Yeah, you might have certain you know, luxuries or whatever, right? Nothing wrong with that. But guess what?
Keep your eye on the prize.
You got to be as though you possess not, like it's not yours, like it's your, like it hasn't no real value to you.
Can't be overly attached, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going into the kingdom just ourselves.
Yep.
With all these possessions and trinkets.
That's right.
You don't get
Verse 31 said, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
Yeah. Everything that is around us is going to be destroyed, man. Yep. We're going into the kingdom. It's going to be something new, completely new, fresh. We're going to have fresh garments, fresh drop, fresh everything, fresh food. You know what I'm saying? Like, your car ain't going, your house that you pay for or whatever it is, or you built. You know, Benjamin, they love building the house. They ain't going into the kingdom. You're going to build a new house, innit? So you can't be overly attached to the things of this world, man. That's why you got to make sure that you're doing this work. Because like I said, the fruit of this work is what's really going to be everlasting and eternal. And an eternal product is better than a temporary product. Is it not? Because look at Esau. His thing, that all this labor that he's done is ultimately in vain. He done all this, man. He's doing the most, and it's all just going to be destroyed and he's going into a pit. So anti-climax, and yeah, he did all that, and it's just
what he said to achieve, you won't achieve. You might as well not have bothered.
You know, the man that do the NBA 2K, and their woman just like wipes it. It would have been better if they did it at all, wouldn't it? Like, you know, I was like, what the fuck, man?
Hey, but you know, I play games like that. You know, you playing this game, you got a certain way, certain distance or whatever, man. Click certain items, yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's all this
and then corruption happens.
Yeah, you got pissed.
I don't go back to the game, you know.
It's long. It's long, man.
I don't go back to the game, man. It's much pain there.
There's pain, but that's what I'm saying, man. You know, this work is a beautiful thing because you get to be a part of something that's eternal, that's everlasting. You know, you can build a great building, but like in 50, like them bridges, man, built the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, even if Esau's kingdom wasn't to be destroyed, that's just going to be decommissioned and burnt down anyway.
Say a new heaven, a new earth. Yeah, everything's gonna be refreshed, renewed, right? All these things that exist here, you know, besides, you know, with the trees and that, you know, even like a park, it's might be a wasteland, you know what I mean? Right? But all these things that we're accustomed to seeing in the world is not going to exist anymore, man. These are unwanted things in the world to come. I said we're going to start afresh, you know, start again.
The kingdom is going to be built from the ground up, man. That's another thing that, you know, we have to understand. You know, we're not, many kingdoms before us were built on the foundations of the previous kingdom. So they retain the language. They might even retain some of the people that was running certain things in the other kingdom. Because it's like, yo, man, this guy was, all right, you know, don't kill him. We're going to keep him because we want to run that how they ran it. You know what I'm saying? And certain structures, we're going to keep that, and or we might repurpose it for something else. Nah, we ain't repurposing shit, man. This
pyramid like a museum or something.
Yeah,
whatever, man. These things are not going to exist no more, man.
You're not going to keep it out. Wipe it all out.
Tourists, what? We ain't got time to do tourism. You don't do tourists, man. You got to be working, man. You got time to search at night.
Suffering.
No, you're gonna be learning a lot about rocks, man.
Yeah, man. We're gonna be building our kingdom's gonna be built. The kingdom of heaven is gonna start from scratch. Start from zero. And be built up from the ground up. We're gonna have our buildings and our palaces are gonna be built fresh material from the ground up. You know, our cities from the ground up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? New. You know what I'm saying? Fresh. You know, same thing with these other nations. Their lands are going to be wiped clean by the chariots or whatever, all their major buildings and that. And then when they get their lands back, they're going to have to rebuild again from the ground up. Righteousness, man. This world is truly going to be cleansed and purified, and it's going to be that's that side of the world, and this is this side of the world. You know, there's the new beginnings. Yeah,
that's it. This is First John chapter 2, and let's have a look. I'm gonna start from
your GOAT list. That's gonna be gone. I ain't gonna be debating about who's the GOAT.
Who's the GOAT? yeah. All right. First John chapter 2 verse 14 says, I have written unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of God abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. Love not overcome the wicked one. Again, by who though?
Yeah.
How have we? What is the reason why we come overcome the wicked one? Through Yahawashi.
And you have to have this word within you, because this world around you is spiritual warfare. It's always trying to draw you into wickedness. But when you have that word within you, you're able to say, nah, you know what, that's not right, because the scripture says you ain't meant to be involved in that. So it protects you from, like a shield. That's what the scripture says, from the foolishness. But when you ain't got that word within you, that's how Esau will have you looking crazy. Esau will have you ass cheek up, getting your ass rammed in over some FRNs, man. Yeah. Or have you putting makeup on your face, or dressing like a woman, thinking it's a joke. It's not funny. I'm not laughing. You know what I'm saying? Have you out there looking weird because you
bringing shame onto yourself,
because the word ain't in you. That's why you're acting crazy like this, because the word don't abide within you. Yep. So if the word ain't in you, then you're an empty vessel. You're unprotected, and so Esau can come and put his poison within you, and you're out here looking crazy, like our people do. They look crazy.
But just back on the point of Yahawashi and our victory through him, because it's not enough to know the scriptures, because we know the scriptures, but we're not perfect men. Okay. You know, the only reason why we're able to go on this road that we're on is because of the grace that the Lord provided for us, man. You know, otherwise we fail again. Yeah. Even in this level now, and how much we know, we would still fail. If it was just us.
The Lord have mercy on us, and He walked with us too. The Lord said, "I'll be with you always, even to the end of the world, man." And the Lord with you to keep you on that path, man, to strengthen you, man, in the spirit, to keep going, and to provide that mercy where you could have been, you know, you could have been to the wayside. He keep hold you up and give you the extra that you need. That's why I said He'll never put more upon you than what you can bear. If you're of the elect, you never break, because the Lord is always going to be there. That bit that you're missing, or that wrong turn that you took that could have been the end of you, the Lord's going to make sure that it's not the end of you, that you keep going, man. You know, and that's the gift of given unto the elect, man.
Yep.
Now them wicked ass niggas, you know, they ain't got that, man. So they want to go follow MMA careers, and MMA career never happened. Ain't that funny? Niggas always leave because they want to do these things, and they never do nothing. Niggas want to be rappers. Nigga want to be superstar DJ. I ain't never heard of the nigga since. So obviously that didn't fucking work out. I want to do MMA.
Again, it's something that was vain. There was no point. What was the point?
What you want to do? If you're gonna sell your soul, or you want to leave the truth to be MMA, I better see you in UFC, bro. It better be a champion. Niggas never heard of it.
Superstar. You know,
nigga go get twist up straight away, man. Get it up. You know what I mean?
Get it all fucking live. Mash up.
You're chasing dreams out here, man.
But this is the thing. This is what's crazy to me in this world, right? Because people, a dream is something you can't. It's not tangible, is it? Right? You're gonna go for something you can't yet see or haven't achieved yet. But when it comes to scriptures, these people don't have the same ambition or the same drive for it, man. Which means they're just dark inside, man. They're just empty.
I could have done that. Because they're envious, man. They look at niggas out there that's doing things. I could have done that. There was a lot of niggas that could have done that, and maybe you could. But you know, leaving the truth,
necessarily work that way.
Be a fucking DJ, and then or MMA star. Like I said, all that's gonna be destroyed anyway.
But I say a lot of people are good at a lot of things, but the world don't work that way. Just because you're good at something, they don't mean that's gonna happen for you. Because there's certain rules in this world that, you know,
funny.
You know, and that's what I mean. This life, everybody's life is chosen. It's selected by the Heavenly Father, right? Whether they pass, they walk on, whether or not they're of the elect, whether they're of the wicked or whatever, man. Right? You just made a bad example out of it, man. You were neither one or the other. You never made it in this world. You never made it in the truth. You were just.
You gotta know. Everything I think, you know. You don't know what the truth is. Come on, man. Niggas be old class guys trying to rekindle careers, but come on. Come on, we ain't catching it.
Benzema.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, like 31 with a bad knee. I think I could go professional. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, back in 1 John 2:15 now, right? It says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world." All these possessions that you got, like, you know, whatever it is that you know, people hold dear to in this world. We can't hold nothing dear in this world.
It's all corrupted, man. It's all corrupted. Like, even if you got a talent and you're really good at it, which is nothing wrong with that. The thing is about this society, you have to realize here that everything does have its place, and it's just this world has corrupted everything. Like, do you think there's not a place for entertainment? Do you not think that? Do you think there's not a place for music? There is a place for music. There's nothing wrong with man singing a song about a party or whatever like that. Like, people are always gonna express themselves in different ways, yeah. But it's corrupted. They've corrupted it. You know what I'm saying? Like sport. Like, he saw didn't invent sport. Sport is letting children play, or men played sport for war games. Like the Native Americans had, like, what was it, lacrosse or whatever. But now sport has been corrupted. Everything's corrupted. So everything that you go to do in this world, Esau and the flesh has corrupted it and made it toxic. So it's like, even if you are good at something, like, you want to achieve the highest level of that. Like, for instance, you're a poet and you want to be a rapper or some shit. But in the end, it's gonna corrupt you.
Yeah, you start talking about fucking
in the end, they're gonna you're gonna be corrupted to get the success that you want out of it. Because everybody wants success, right? It's natural to want. How are you not gonna want to succeed at what you do? If you're a farmer, you want to succeed at farming. Pause. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to do good.
It's that money, that love of money.
Yeah, the love of money. They get dragged into that, and like, my man, I'm looking at this guy Terence Crawford now, and it's like, boy, like, they're ready to drag that guy into hell now, because ever since he's won that, now he's getting all the big interviews, and all of a sudden they want to turn him into a superstar, which the man's gonna say I'm going off. He deserves it. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm talking about the man has put in the work in terms of, if you're into boxing and pugilism, you could say in one way it's a vain thing, but there's a purity in boxing. There's a purity in the martial art, the discipline, and, you know, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I enjoy the boxing. I enjoy watching it in the art form, right? And this man's lived a life. He ain't been like most of these dudes, acting like rappers, drinking, and he's lived a life, and he shows expert skill at what he does. So you think, is this a recognition? But you see, in this world, that recognition is the Eye of Sauron. Now the Eye of Sauron recognizes you. Now they're going to want to try and draw you into the money deals and showing you the fame and the accolades. But at the same time, what they're going to want to do, corrupt you. And then so that family that he's got going on, you just inviting demons into it. Because he's actually, if you look at Terence Crawford, he's not a man of the Lord, but the way he runs his thing is respectable. You don't see him behave in a certain way. He's got his sons, he's raising his sons, all of his children, he's got his woman. You don't hear him in bare drama with his woman. You know what I'm saying? Like man like Davis, having punch-ups with multiple women and all kind of running people over. But his thing, you know Esau's going to get in there. And then it's just going to, all that poison and that toxicity, and they're going to get to you, they're going to get to your kids. Because that's the way of this world, man. Anything you go into, it's just going to, in the end, the further you go with it, the more it's going to try and corrupt you. So that's why this world ain't the place. Whereas in the kingdom, you're going to be able to go as far as you want with anything, because it's not going to be corrupted and toxic. You could do it in righteousness, man. And that's what Jake wants. A lot of these Jake just want to be good, man. But you can't be good in this kingdom like that. They want to get to the top. They want to reach the pinnacle. Pause. But guess what?
That requires, corruption. It's what it is.
That's because Esau's running.
It's the wicked that prosper.
Because he runs the breakfast show. He runs everything. And, you're going to have to make a deal with the devil.
Sports brands, the TV shows, you'll be on news channels or whatever. So
they start getting you into rituals.
If like Crawford don't want to play game, next thing you know, he ain't getting no fights.
Yeah, they'll blackball him like that. They're putting him under pressure.
So they can do all these things to put pressure on man. It's like, well, okay, I was going to do this then. It's like the whole okay,
well, they seduce you.
Yeah,
because they'll show you the light. Yeah. And then you don't want to lose it. You're like, oh, yeah.
The next thing you know, you're putting on dresses and shit. You know what I mean? This is what they do. They break man down. They break you down.
In a tutu.
Or you know, you're up in a batty movie like Will Smith. You know what I mean? They'll break you down. That's what they want to do. They want to see you break. They love it. They love breaking. But stop breaking. This is exactly what it is.
You know, you can influence other people. Yep. To be like that, man.
That's why I got a generation of gremlins out here, man. You know, that's how it works, man. Yeah, for all that is in the world. Verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yeah, you can't love this world because it's corrupt. It's toxic, man. Every era, and you know what? Sometimes that you can go crazy thinking about this world. Because the more you analyze every little tiny little area of life, it could be the food, it could be anything. It ain't long till you can see the corruption in it. Like anything you're into, let's say you're into football. How long, unless you're completely ignorant and stupid, it ain't long till you start seeing what that ain't, right? Oh, that's dark. And then you start realizing there's a really dark side to this thing. That, like, sports is dark. There's a lot of people that fall by the wayside, a lot of shady behavior, a lot of corruption. Look, bro, it doesn't matter what you look at into this man's kingdom, you're going to find toxicity there. You're going to find corruption there. And then it's like, oh, man, you know what I mean? Like, if you're into movies, I'm into films. Man, it's corruption.
Even like normal jobs, you know what I mean? You know, construction jobs. There's a lot of unethical shit going on.
Yeah, it's corrupt, man.
You know, because you might have good intentions as a person in a company or whatever, man. And you feel like you're gonna change the world. You think you're gonna do this and do that. But when you get closer to the top, you're gonna find that, man. The world is not how you thought it was, isn't it? Corruption. And they're gonna have you doing things like that are unethical. Like you're a doctor or nurse, and what was I watching, man? I was watching Alice in Borderland, this Netflix series, right?
Don't get me sniped now. Them conspiracy theories.
Okay. But you know, the doctors, man, you know, they get to pick who lives and who dies, right? Who can get seen first on operations, right? Well, if a leaflet comes down and says this man got to come first because he son CEO, or whatever, he's gonna come first, and that other person who's waiting longer is gonna die. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of unethical shit going on, man, and you have to put up with that. Always, not what you be in there. You know, but you just studied 7 years to be a doctor or whatever. But
it's not a virtuous world.
It's not
a virtuous world at all. It's very highly toxic, man. And so you can't love this world. You can't love this world, man. It's tainted. It has a stench to it, man. You know, it's like you go into a nice house, but there's a smell. There's a death coming from underneath the floorboards that you can't get rid of. You're like a dead rat. And you imagine you got a house and you get that whiff. And you just can't get rid of it. That's what this world is. How can you love that? It's whipping that.
So verse 16 says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes.
Yeah, the lust of the flesh. This world is toxic because it's driven by poor desires. And Esau preys upon that. He preys upon your base desires. And the thing is about life is, when those base desires must be measured and disciplined through the spirit, and that's what makes it sustainable. Like sex is a base desire, especially for a man. Man got that testosterone. Testosterone is a real thing. The Lord gave us testosterone. The testosterone is like an algorithm in your body. The hormone is chemical algorithms. Listen, you can affect a man by his hormones. Men and women. Hormones is like an algorithm. It's a program that you can put in someone. If you take a man and you boost up his testosterone, will he not act different? If you drop a man's testosterone down to 0, man will start his spirit go down. You lose drive. You might even necessarily act feminine. You lose drive because testosterone is more so your drive. That feeling of I'm gonna go get it, that aggressive behavior, which translates into sexual aggression, but also translates across your life. It depends on how you stare that energy, which is why women are supposed to dress modestly, because You need that aggression to go out in the field and do things. But if you just got sex in your eyes all the time, that is going to be put towards that. You understand what I'm saying? So they Esau purposely, that's why he's constantly putting sex in your eye line. Whereas all that testosterone that you might have built up, you would be using to go out there and do things and fight the cause, and you know what I mean? And let me help you, brother. Now it's just like, oh, the things, because your energy is being drawn there, whereas it shouldn't be drawn there all the time. But Esau knows that. He's playing on your carnal desires and manipulating you. Same thing with the women. They have a way of just latching onto your carnal desires, man, and using it against you. And because the spirit is not guiding you, and you give into that, it becomes toxic.
And this is part of Esau's knowledge and wisdom. He searched out all these things, right?
Yeah.
He uses it part of his witchcraft. He knows what he's doing.
Those guys to play your mind. That's why sex sells. They invoke sex and everything. Because it's one of those core things. Like the scripture says, a man loveth nothing better than to look onto a beautiful woman. That's why your ass is stuck on Instagram. That's why I got rid of Instagram. Because it's in you naturally to look at beautiful women. You can't help it to a degree. Yeah?
Distract your ambition.
It distracts you. And Esau knows it's in the scriptures. A man loveth nothing better. So that's why when you go on Instagram, the algorithm is just going to hit you up with women. And they gave the women the filters as well. So they hit you up with women, and then you're just going to be there scrolling through the women. And you could do that all day. Why? Because it's the flesh, it's the desires, man. Esau knows that. He's catching you as a trap. But is there anything wrong with liking good-looking women? No, but it becomes toxic. The flesh becomes toxic, man. All the things the Lord puts there for us to enjoy, we've made it toxic because we're not being guided by the Spirit, man.
That's why we go back to the other scriptures about using the word and not abusing it. Everything's been abused right now.
That's right. People abuse alcohol.
Yep.
They abuse sex. They abuse food. They abuse entertainment. Everything's being abused, and everything is becoming toxic. Where in a balanced and spiritual world, these things will still exist in a disciplined manner, and then you can actually enjoy it without destroying yourself.
We have a productive society.
Like sex, you were meant to enjoy sex. 100%. It's designed to be pleasurable. But sex is toxic now. Sex has now become something casual. Children are now born, if they are born, children are a consequence of casual sex rather than an actual product of sex. You know what I mean? Like now, children are accidents. The man didn't want to have that child. They just wanted to have sex. That's how they've made sex become a very toxic thing now. But what that happened with the sexual revolution and sexual liberation, where they made sex become toxic because it's just a plaything now. There's the people like children that got harder, just running around. And now sex is giving you diseases. Now sex is giving you broken homes, broken children, broken relationship. All because of sex, man. Man can't control themselves. Mm-hmm. Sex has its place. You use it correctly. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. And it's productive. You abuse it now, get yourself in a whole bag of problems, man. Ask the man them that's got 8, 10 baby mamas, man, that's working at McDonald's. I know a man that was up on child support. Bro, the other man had to pay out like a good £600. That's his fault. Man got about fucking 5 women pregnant, but random.
You think?
This is Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with soul destruction.
Everything in this world is polluted, man. It's got demons attached. It's got corruption attached. Toxicity attached. It's not right. So you have to have that in your mindset. That don't give yourself over to this world. Use the world, but not abuse it.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, man. Today, boy. The flesh, man. You still got that scripture you read?
Yeah.
The flesh, man. They got people out here crazy, man.
Yeah, it's really appreciate it quickly. Sirach chapter 10, verse 1. So the wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And this is what we need. We haven't got a wise ruler right now. We've got Esau, the fucking devil. Right? The most corrupt out of all people on the planet. Right? We're waiting for Yahweh Shai to bring in this order, to bring in correctness and righteousness, man.
We're so hooked on pleasure and desires, man. And we got a whole generation of children now that are just fucking drug addicts, man.
Yeah, seeking higher and shit.
They're just on this balloons. They're just sucking down balloons. Yeah. What's there to do in London? You know, balloons and shit. That's what you said, man. Yeah. You got a whole generation that's hooked on various drugs, man. And them drugs is abuse. They're abusing drugs. Any spare time they get, they're just on drugs. What do you mean on spice or whatever they be doing? Monkey dust or whatever the fuck that shit is. Zombie that. But like, oh, I just like you're high, man. Bro, you're dead. You're dying, man. Using their bodies, man. Like there's a whole generation now where you just abuse your body with alcohol. I was from that generation too. And that's why my body's so fucked up now, because there's such a thing as abusing alcohol. You're not supposed to be like going out, like, I'll be honest with you, going out 4 or 5 times a week, yeah, and drinking so much alcohol that you're shitting blood. I'll be real. You just your intestines are fucked. Listen, bro, you know, I'll be real. You know when you go uni, right? When you go uni and they get you on that trend, man, you be drinking alcohol like 4 or 5 times a week. Mad hangovers. Like, and then certain times, yeah. And this is not to glorify this is bad. I'm suffering for it right now. Listen, I'm suffering. Right. Yeah, through the pride and arrogance of youth. You fucking drinking. So you drinking before you get to the club. You're already licked. You get to the club, you're backing down bare JDs and Colts here. You licked. Come on after the club, smoking weed and doing all that shit. So you're smoking and drinking, right? And you can kind of get away with it a certain way when you're young, because you got more to take away from. But every time you're drinking all that alcohol to that extent, because you're only meant to drink alcohol to get merry. But when you in this world, you're not just getting merry. You're drinking and drinking and drinking, and your body is now trying to catch up because you got too much. You got more alcohol in your system than what's required to get you to the place you want to be. Where 2 JDs and Cokes could get you where you want to be, you drank 20 JDs and Cokes with the shots. Well, we used to go to fucking Chiba on a man's birthday, right? And every man will buy you a shot of Zambuca, blood. You're going out with like 20 men, bro. Bro, I don't know. It's madness, bro. Why are you drinking like 15, 20 shots in a row, bro?
Yeah, you definitely. And then you're stacking a Red Bull, it's fucking up your heart.
Yeah, Vod Bull, £1.25 for Vod Bull at Works in Birmingham. So man's just banging off this thing, yeah, and your body is basically like fuck. So it's just like producing enzymes to break the alcohol down. And the reason you're getting more and more drunk is because your body can't keep up with the alcohol you're putting in there, and you got a hangover the next day. That's damage.
You're wearing out your liver,
your liver, everything, because the alcohol is destroying your whole fucking body. It's destroying your joints. And then obviously you do that like once or twice, okay. But when you do that consistently, you're breaking your body down. You're breaking your body down. Why? Because you're overindulging without wisdom and understanding in the alcohol. You're abusing the alcohol. You're abusing it, man. And that's what this world promotes. All across England, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. We used to get so licked here, you'd have a hangover, can't get up for lectures, right? You're waking up at like 12, 2 o'clock here. You're fucked. You're like, and man's are like phoning you, yeah, you're up, yeah. And then man's like rolling up a fucking zoot. You're burning more zoots. So you just fucking killed yourself with alcohol and weed last night. And they used to call it wake and bake. I'm just telling you the real. Man will wake up. And remember, you got 8 packs and all at that time. So you're proud. You think it's all good. So you're just fucking waking up, wake and bake. And then 2-3 hours later, yeah. So you're going work tonight. You're going to another club. So that's Monday. We used to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday, man's are going back home to London or whatever, and then Saturday you might be back home. Sunday, so you got 3 days where you're not completely fucking drunk, destroying your body completely. And then on Monday you do it all again. Can you do that for like 2-3 years straight?
Monday be like the cheap night.
Think of it, what these people are doing to themselves. There's a whole generation that have lived like that. So it's no wonder everyone's getting cancer and dropping dead and all this.
Yeah, we speak about earlier culture, right? It's like, oh, Britain ain't got, that's British culture. That's part of British culture. It's smashed.
That's the Western culture, period.
Yeah.
Just drinking alcohol as a young person, and they promote in their movies.
American Pie.
When you're young, you just drink and get sloppy drunk, and then when you're older, you realize like there was no need to get that drunk. There was no need to get that drunk where you're waking up somewhere in a pool of vomit. Like, what's going on? Like, man don't even remember what they did.
You know what Esau does?
Well, I do, but
in these movies, they make it like, oh, that's good times.
Yeah, that's not good.
You know what I mean? So they go recklessly out there and do whatever because they just think they're gonna have to go out and have a good time.
And it's even worse for women. That's why these women are fucked, because they're the weaker vessel. Because women produce less enzymes to break down alcohol. That's why women get drunk more easier, and it affects them more. And you got women now, they're drinking. Man, these women out here drinking mad amounts of alcohol, and it's just why they look old and fucked up and messed up. I'm just telling you, like, this society is toxic, man. And these things are happening every day, and it's a normal thing for people to behave and act like this.
Yep.
It's normal to people to destroy their bodies and destroy their minds.
Is that?
Yeah, go on.
I'll go back to the other one in a minute. It's the Sirach chapter 31, verse 27. It says, wine is good as life to a man, if it be drunk moderately.
Moderately.
And that's the whole thing about anything in life. Moderation, balance. And like I said, like we're saying, people just abusing everything, man.
Who could out drink who?
Yeah,
why is drinking a fucking competition? You know, and you know Benjamin, don't get me started Benjamin, man, the rum. I mean, I got bare uncles that just ended up being drunks, man. I just love the rum.
Addiction.
Yo, escapism, man. Drugs and alcohol, man. That's how the kids are nowadays, man.
Check this, right? It says, verse 28 says this, but I'm going to read on, right? What life is then to a man that is without wine? It's here, it's purpose, you know.
Wine was made to make man merry. That's in the scripture.
You're Christians that, you know, Christians that they don't believe you should be drinking at all. But it's in the scriptures, you can.
Yeah, your body can break down the alcohol.
Lord,
getting sloppy drunk. Now your body is struggling to contain the amount of alcohol that you're drinking. You know what I mean? And now it becomes a problem.
It's the same when you overeat, your body's working overtime, man. You get all kind of diseases because you're overeating, you know. It's just like I say, anything in life, man. When everything here is to be enjoyed, immeasurable, you know. So he goes on to say, what life is then to a man that is without wine, but it was made to make men glad.
Made to make men glad, yeah. But men are overdoing it. They're overdoing it, and this is the culture. And then they say drink responsibly, but that's not really the culture they promote. The rappers and the popular media promotes toxic lifestyles. You see, man, they're pouring fucking alcohol down. Remember, Game used to go to a concert and down a bottle of fucking Henny on the stage, blood. A whole bottle of Henny. What the fuck?
Wow, man.
That's wild, man. Liver's looking like Errol Spence, blood. Oh, shit.
That's what it says this, right? Wine measurably drank and in season. It's not every day I might be drinking. In season, at times, occasions, or whatever, you know? Yeah. Celebrations or whatever, the feast days. Whatever it is, you know? Man has to be drinking every day, just stabbing them back. You know? You ain't meant to be getting drunk every day.
Yeah, like,
you got shit to do, man.
With the wine and that. You know what I mean?
You got shit to do. You got to go out work. You got marriage to fight for. You got to go piss to look after, man.
Dehydrate your ass, man.
You can't be getting drunk every day. You know? Man. Says wine measure drunk and in season bringeth gladness of heart and cheerfulness of mind. But wine drinking with excess is the abuse now, right? Maketh bitterness of the mind.
Yeah, man, it fucks the mind up, man. And it can actually, like, you know, when a man's depressed, they drink too much alcohol to make him more depressed, man.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, listen, it can work against, it becomes toxic, man. It literally is toxic. It's toxic for your body.
Crazy imbalances in your body to get. Yeah. You know,
this world, man, it's crazy.
So, but wine drunk with excess making fitness of the mind, crawling and quarreling, arguing and fighting. That's what a lot of these men get up to.
Yeah, that's why they're so fucking. They get, especially man, like they get so licked that you can't even reason with them, or they get so licked that they get robbed. Like you should, as a man, you should never get that licked where man can easily rob you, and then, because you're so fucking out of your mind. But go out on any Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, yeah, in London or anywhere. You're just gonna see the police and the ambulances and all the A&E people busting them, falling over, busting their chin, vomit everywhere. Women just grotesquely walking around barefoot, pissing on themselves, shitting on themselves. All kind of man, I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying, man? I've seen man getting murked. A lot of men get murked off. Their friends leave them there for the ambulance, and they're going out for the rest of the night. Cause man got murked before they even went out.
So it's very drunkenness increases the rage of a fool.
Yeah, and it's true. Man go out there, and then that's why a lot of times there's these issues happening. Man are getting shot, man are getting shanked up off the back of the alcohol because man are drinking too much and they don't know how to act. Certain man get rapey when they get drunk. The girl are like, yo, ease off, and man are just, hey, you know what I mean? And then they get themselves in problems, man. I remember one dude was doing that.
He jumped on the bike, you know, take guys or a bit, you know, touch the girl. He couldn't actually hold it down, you know.
Yeah, remember that time we was at that work doing that dude was acting like that. And I'm like, yo, this guy got to be careful because them girls that have you up for the sexual assault, like, he's moving mad. But it's because he ain't like that normally. It's because he was drinking so much.
The inhibition was gone.
He was gone, man. He was gone, like, and it's just like, bro. Next thing you know.
And it's not people, you know, they always want to do bold stuff when they're drunk. You know, things that they shouldn't be doing. We talk about I'm that young and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not high level when you drunk.
Oh,
man.
drink driving.
Yeah.
And that's a Benjamin specialty. That's a big mistake, man. The last thing you want to be doing is speeding in a vehicle with high confidence. You already, as a man, already got high confidence when you're driving. Now you're drunk, man. That's why men are getting written off out here.
Yeah. But they knock someone down, kill somebody.
Did that girl get
your life?
You remember that Range Rover that went through the station and onto the fucking tracks, man? And he was going 100. Yeah, he was going 100 and something. 100. He had two girls in the car, and she got ejected out of the fucking out the sunroof or something.
Okay. Yeah, man, it's mad.
I think he was still alive, but she's dead or something like that. Yeah, he's going to jail. Yeah, well, yeah, they was all having a good time, innit? But man was traveling dumb speed, and that was that. Now he's gonna be in jail for a long time.
Yeah, the drunkenness increases the rage of a fool till he offends. He fucks up.
Yeah, disrespect somebody or chat some shit he shouldn't have chat. Yeah, man, it's toxic, man.
The worst thing about it, he says it diminishes strength. So you're not even as mighty as you were before that. You're less mighty than you were. But now you got all the balls are hanging down. The balls are hanging down. You couldn't go do anything, man. You know, but you're in a diminished state.
Yeah, I remember one time a guy went out. He used to be like that. He told him about it, and he didn't want to listen. And he went out by himself one night and came back with a tooth missing. I just bust out his tooth. That's that. That's to pay the dentist, you know. This is real stuff. It's in the scriptures, man. But when he's not drinking heavily, he's cool. But he just starts shit, and he can't back it up on a normal day anyway. And it's just, yeah, man, that man dealt with the wicked stuff. Man had black eye, tooth missing, and he was sitting there sorry for himself. Like, bro. Oh yeah, but Badu Jack, yeah, he was looking at the girl after.
So you diminish his strength and make it wounds. Yeah, man. But yeah, you know, everything in measure, man. And this is the thing, people don't treat life in measure. Esau's taught people to abuse themselves, to abuse the ways of the world, man.
Desires, no discipline, man.
And I say this brings forth wickedness. You know? Yeah, finish this.
All things are not profitable for all men. Neither has every soul pleasure in everything. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing,
not insatiable, yeah. Don't, you know what I mean? Eat 100 Twinkies. Yeah, what's wrong with you, man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know, I don't want to speak because sometimes I'm like that, innit?
yeah, brother,
But-
getting on you, man.
you know, you have to demonstrate control, innit? You have to.
The Twinkies and that, because then them calories pile up and it's got a different
One thing is mad, bro.
You know what I mean? You can't be insatiable, man. You have to know when enough is enough, man. Because it will end up hurting you in the end. It always ends up some ailment you got down the line. That's what the Bible tells you. Oh, that they were wise, that they would consider their latter end. There's certain things here that it don't affect you now. So you get proud. It's basically what the scriptures say. Sentence against the evil word is not executed speedily. Therefore, the hearts of men are fully set in them to do evil. And that's the pride of a young man, especially, and a young woman. When you're young, you get away with shit, right? So you don't realize that, yeah, you're getting away with it now. But when you're like 35 and 40 and you're catching hell of them ailments that you got now because you abused your body and your mind, that's when you're like, oh, you know what? It really wasn't worth it. And it's not worth it.
You left with a lot of hard work.
Now, yeah, but you know,
Avoid it.
could have avoided all that problems, man. With a clean lifestyle. Straight edge.
Not to greed upon meat. For excess of meat begets sickness, and suffocating will turn into Korah.
Right, you eat too much, man. You oversatiate yourself. And we see them both. Look at America. America is all about oversatiating yourself. That's why their portions, people around the world are like, yo, what the fuck, like, them man are crazy. Them man are like they have things where they say like, if you could eat the whole thing, you get it for free and all that.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? A man's got a burger, like the burger's looking like a child, man. It's like man are eating a smoked child. It's mad. It's mad. They don't need to be doing all that.
Just a quick one on that. Revelation 18 and 9. This is talking about Babylon, i.e. America, right? Because the way this world is now, because it's heavily industrialized now, we've got everything on hand. Well, not so much these days, but you know, generally we've got everything on hand. There's excess of meat out there in the world, right? Like I was saying, you've got some fucking mega burgers and steaks out there. It's just madness, right? But he's sort of T-Rex steaks, right? he sort of pushes that all that meat and all them dainties and pastries and stuff. Like, he can push that there in abundance, man, and that's what we're addicted to, right? But there's so much of it, you know, and we enjoy it, right? But here it speaks about it in prophecy.
Women buy a whole big fucking tub of 2 kilo tub of ice cream to sit there and eat the whole fucking thing, man. Like 20,000. That's high shit. 20,000 calories in one go. Body's crying like, you know, fucking trying to manage that fucking and then you wonder why you got diabetes, man. And then once you get diabetes, it's just all problems, man. Gout and all kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, this verse 9 quickly from Revelation 18, right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication have lived deliciously, right? And I know we're speaking about the kings, the rulers and that, man, but even people on a general basis are eating an extravagant lifestyle in terms of what they eat, what they put in their body. It's just non-stop.
20 pancakes, syrup, scissor, you know,
the double stack, triple stack, you know, the quadrillions, you know, there's multiple stacks of pancakes, man, with butter and
deep fried chocolate dipped in,
you know
what I mean? But
and I say I like pancakes, you know, but
yeah,
there's
everyone likes a good pancake.
yeah, you know, but there's, you know,
but
control.
Do you have to have 20 pancakes?
Yeah, let's say
Does the stack of pancakes need to be this high? Really, like
I'm bigger than this stomach, man.
sit there and eat it, right? You know? And then it's just smothered in you know, kind of, you know.
So again, it's abuse because, you know, 20 pancakes is more than what you require to be full. Right?
And should you even be full with a pancake?
Well, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Is it something that you're meant to eat to fool you up, or is it meant to be like a little, you know, treat on the side? Like,
yeah, right?
You know what I mean?
You know, let's get protein pancake. That's what we help. You know, but you know, like we're saying, isn't it, right? It's not necessary. It's just flour, isn't it? But like 20 pancakes, this whole all this extra eating that we do is not required, man. It really isn't, man. And people's activity levels is fucking lower than they've ever probably been. You know, it's not good. It's not a good combination, man. So we have to, you know, show restraint.
Yeah, them man back in the day that were eating big man plates.
Big
Were
man work.
fucking like, yeah, they were fucking hard. They were
Laborers.
out there working hard. That's why they never really put weight on, because even though they, you know, black women used to give you them big ass bomber club plates of food for the dad. My dad always had a big. That's dad's plate. That's my dad's. Because my dad's out there fucking doing manual labor all day. So when he come home, he need a big meal. And my dad never been fat. You know what I'm saying? But he's fucking doing some sedentary shit, yeah, coming over having 2-3 of the plates, you know, plus this dessert, you know what I mean, with all the scissor
And the drinking afterwards.
Yeah, it's just no wonder, man.
Lifestyle is shit. People's lifestyle is shit, man.
It's comfort eating, man. You know what I mean?
And then we're all looking at 1% of the population that are rich. You know what I mean? Wishing they could be them. Well, you know, if you didn't abuse yourself, maybe you could have been like that, and you know, and that's just the truth.
We're all guilty in that in some way, man, and that's why this world's got to go. You know?
Yeah, that's what we're
For excess of meat bringeth sickness, and surfeiting for eternity into gore. By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
Prolonging your life, because when you lack discipline, when the spiritual, which could discipline, that ultimate discipline comes from the spirit. The law is the ultimate discipline. The scriptures is the discipline of life. The flesh has no discipline naturally.
It lusts.
The flesh just lusts.
Yeah.
The flesh just likes. Your body likes sweet things, and it just likes it, man. Do you know what I mean? You like sex, doesn't care whose pussy it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just wants some pussy. That's the flesh. So that's why the Bible says the carnal mind is enmity with the Most High, because it cannot be subject to the things of the Most High. It has no control. Your body doesn't know right or wrong. Your body just knows stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Senses, you know?
Just the senses, man, the sensualities. That's what your body knows. It knows its desires. Like, I'm hungry, or I like that. Or you see it with your eyes, and you know it tastes good, so it activates you. Yeah, eat that. It's going to taste good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas the spiritual discipline is like, I don't need that like that. I don't. And sometimes you have to do that. Like, you go and you see something, you're like, ugh. And you get that because you know it's going to taste good, man. And then you're like, you know what, man? I don't need to eat that right now. Let me just grab a water. You know what I mean?
And it's not what you want to hear, like water.
Sometimes, yeah, because you know it's not going to be as nice, maybe.
But sometimes, sometimes you're just thirsty.
Yeah,
it's not that you're hungry. Sometimes you're just thirsty,
Yeah.
And people forget that. They're confused, like, oh, I need to eat something. Yeah, you don't really need to necessarily. You're not gonna die.
You're gonna end up sick, like you're gonna end up you're gonna end up like dying, man. And we weren't meant to be dying and sick like that. And that's what people don't realize. Like, being sick and dying, is so normalized now. We think that's a normal way of life, but it's not. We weren't actually designed to be sick. We weren't designed to be having diabetes and prostate, swollen prostates and all that. And more people are getting that now, because I found out that caffeine contributes to that swollen prostate as well. And there's a lot of things that contribute towards getting swollen prostate, man. Like, and a lot of black men end up with prostate issues, man, because it's because of our lifestyles, because of the way we're living, man. We're not supposed to be getting ill like that. If you took care of your, it's like a car. It's not normal for a car like after 2 years just breaking down all the time. But yeah, if you don't change the oil and you don't maintain it the right way, or this one guy was switching at his woman because she put diesel in the fucking she put diesel in it. And you got me wrong, man. He started acting like he had other problems, man. I'm like, bro, this is from the engine. You didn't turn it on. You know what I mean? It's cool. They'll just rinse it out or whatever. But he was losing his mind. But that's what we're doing to ourselves. We're putting diesel in a petrol engine. We're not changing the oil. We're not servicing the vehicle. So of course it's gonna be all broke up and broken down. All these ailments, man. Because we're poisoning ourselves, man. It's bad lifestyle.
And it's mad because it doesn't even make sense, right? It's just because of abuse, right? How does it make sense that the things we eat for nutrition they actually build us and give us energy? How is he saying things that make things like killing us? It shouldn't be this way, right? It's meant to benefit. It's supposed to benefit us. But now it's becoming
even sleeping. You know, a lot of us are not sleeping right, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of us are like staying up. Your body's cycle, really, you're supposed to be the best sleep is between the hours of 10 and 2 a.m. If you don't get that sleep between 10 and 2 a.m., you're fucked.
I'm never sleeping too.
Because you know what it is? It's like your body, your brain gets the best REM sleep. Like, and REM sleep is so powerful that if you get that REM sleep and you don't get no other sleep, you're fine. You could get like a large amount of sleep outside of that window and still wake up groggy because your brain hasn't entered into that mode that it needs to go into. But how many people are? Most people ain't going to bed till like 1 in the morning, and they got to get up in the morning anyway. But because of the lifestyles we're living, insomnia and all these different things, man, all that stuff breaks our bodies down, man. We're just not living right, man. We're not living right. But we got mobile phones and all this technology, but we ain't even taking care of the bodies we have, man. And I speak that even for me. You know, I haven't been living right. That's why I got ailments, man. It didn't happen by itself. Did you read that last part again real quick?
By this Ecclesiasticus 37 and 31, by surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed.
By what? Sorry, where is it? Okay, so I need to look up that word. Huh? Okay. You look at the surface.
That's how it's doing it.
Yeah. Excess amount of something. Yeah. Doing too much, man.
By surfeiting have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolonges his life.
He that take it, he prolongeth your life, man. You get less ailments, man.
Like I was saying before, a lot of this dude, Esau's teaching his light that he's shining onto the world. He's fucking God, right? And the way he's guided this world is to lust after these things. Because Esau's not spiritual.
Yeah. And their products.
Yeah.
He get you to buy, the more he can get you to buy and enjoy the product.
Yeah, that's what he cares about.
And then they own the medical industry, so they you know, send you up into there.
Mm-hmm. So he's just running you off carnal based needs, man, and getting you addicted to shit. You know, that's what Esau wants. That's why he's to manipulate. You know, because he's ruling you over by your carnal side.
You know, one guy said, yeah, we changed from a needs based society to a desire based society. It's no longer what you need, but what you desire. That's the main driving force of people. They desire this, desire that, desire, innit? Instead of what you need being the foremost thing that you do. And then, yeah, you can have desires, but what your desires are outweighing even what you need. You don't even care what you need. You care what you desire. Yeah? And it's childish desire.
Yep. So back in Sirach chapter 10, verse 1 again, right? A wise judge will instruct his people, right? This judge or this ruler we got is not wise. But Esau is the one instructing us, man. He's the one giving us the fucking diets. He had us stacking up on carbs. He always changing the fucking diagram for the fucking pyramid, carbs and proteins and fats or whatever. He always changing it up, right? But he had us stacking up on carbs because addicted to carbs, man.
And you know what? And again, the only reason we're listening to Esau is because the family's broken. Yeah. Why the fuck do we need to listen to Esau to do with fucking diet, man? Our diet should. The thing about diet, right? And this is what I need to understand. This 6,000 years of human fucking history. Why are we discussing diet 6,000 years into human history? Man, apparently man went to the moon, man did all this. Why the fuck, yeah? You go and literally, you know, there's man debating and fighting over
no carbs, no high fat, no fats, water, no water.
All these men trying to tell you, no, don't eat this, don't do this, don't do that. Like, it's a whole industry of confusion, right? And it's like, listen, go to Sicily to some 100-year-old person and see if there was a debate about their diet. No, they knew what diet worked. And so you passed on that diet from one generation to another. At some point, that changed. Where there's new diet coming, new goofy diet.
You know, part of the reason why there's no choice. Esau's giving you more choice, more things. And because before you don't eat in your local, like what you produce, you got olives.
And it's very family and community based.
Wine.
Now the way you eat is really highly it's influenced by commercialism.
McDonald's on your fucking TV.
You know what I'm saying? It's not influenced just by the people around you and your family. Like Munchrat back in the day, them people back in the day used to live strong to their like, bro. You see some of these old. I remember back in one side, you have some old woman like 98, bro. She's strong, fam. She grab you, bro. You're like, oh shit, like, and she's just walking on her own strength. She don't need no cane. She's strong. And what were they eating? She'll tell you, the old time people will tell you, like, eat the roughage. They say, yeah, you have to eat the roughage. What's that? The greens, the hard greens and all that stuff. Right? And they never had like loads of ailments. And if they did have an ailment, they'd go to the herbs. They weren't affected. Now, the new generation, that disconnected. There's a point where it was disconnected from what people knew worked. The herbs, the roughage, and them things. And then it's all this KFC and all this bullshit and everything that the corporations, and it's all desire based.
Because he will tell you, oh yeah, pork for bacon, bacon sandwiches or whatever.
Now he's trying to tell you what's good for you. Our people going back like 100 years ago and all that, them older generations, they already knew to eat what's good for you. When I was growing up, my grandparents, my great grandparents, a lot of things they were eating was eat that because it's good. Man used to cook up this aloe vera thing, and bro, I'm telling you, it was just like some see-through madness. And the only reason that man were eating it, right, was because it's good for you. Drink this aloe vera, bitter as fuck, it's good for you. Drink this, eat this, it's good for you. It's good for you, it's good for you. So we didn't need Esau to come and all this diet, Atkins diet. We already knew. It's just something happened with these corporations and they fucked everything up, destroyed the family, destroyed the tradition, and now we got these weirdo fucking diets, man.
Bad.
Bullshit diets, man.
Sirach 10:1 said, why Job will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
And they're corrupt. That's the manner of the man. They're corrupt. They don't. They're to do everything about it. They're carnal about the design. Esau don't really care about the people. He don't care about his own people. He don't really care what's going on out here. He pretends he cares, but it's confusion. Oh yeah, don't be a criminal, but then make a movie called Gone in 60 Seconds, and the hero is stealing cars, but you shouldn't steal cars. But you're making movies glorifying stealing cars. It's confusion. This is confusion. This whole society is confusion. So that he could say, well, I did say, but no, bro, you didn't say, because on the other hand, you were pushing it. Drink responsibly. Oh yeah, sure. Is that the overarching message that you're sending? Because it's just bullshit. Eat your 5 a day. Well, fuck off, Esau. You got McDonald's sponsoring the Olympics. So about eat your 5 a day. Then why is McDonald's sponsoring the Olympics, man?
So they provide 5 a day. Yeah?
Well, they got the carrot.
It's the health and sports committee or whatever it's supposed to be, man. It's like
bullshit, man.
Money talks. That's what it comes down to, man.
It's just corruption. Bullshit, man. The whole cereal thing. Cereals were never good for children. The sugar. But they're the ones that, through the commercial, brought in the idea of children weren't eating cereal before. But now it's a staple to give them cereal.
They like cigarettes and things like that. They're promoted, even though they knew it wasn't good for your health. He made the comparison, oh, you eat this, it's good for you. He will be like, I don't give a fuck if it's good for you, no, I'm going to give you this.
And he lied and said it's got calcium in it, it's fortified. It's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit, man. Esau, he's destroyed everything, man. That's why he needs to reset it, man. Go back to the old way.
Yep. The last verse, verse 3 says, an unwise king destroyeth his people. And that's what Esau's doing. Esau's the king of the world, destroying the people, man, destroying the earth. You know?
That's why you don't learn properly. But you shouldn't have to go to school to learn nutrition. The family should know that. And this is where all this weirdo stuff has come from. This idea that you have to learn everything in the school. Listen, my granddad and my grandmother and that, they didn't go to no school to know nutrition. But they know about the herbs. They know about them, man. Because it's passed down from mother to mother, from father to son. You know what I'm saying? The women used to be in control of the nutrition, man, and learn about what you're supposed to give people. Nah, they don't know shit, man. They're just following whatever Esau says or whatever bogus diet through convenience they can provide. You need to hire a nutrition. You know what I mean? Like, what do you need to hire a nutrition?
Special skills.
Yeah, but you know, I tell you one thing: them higher upper class people don't eat like that. When you see them fucking upper class people on the train in Richmond and they're feeding their kids, there won't be none of that bullshit. It's all like you know, carrot sticks and
Veal and asparagus.
yeah, no, they eat better. Because they're more knowledgeable. You know, it's the ghetto feeding the kids all the damn snacks and all that bullshit.
An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them that are in authority, the city shall be inhabited.
Prudence.
The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
And that one that is profitable is Yahweh Shai and 144,000 man, beginning with David, man. That's the ones that are profitable. Then we're gonna run the world for the profit of man, rather than the profit of the corporations, man. So that's how these men are running the world, man. Toxic as fuck, man. Everything's totally against us, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and they don't institute things. There's things they know that is better for people, and they don't do it. Listen, that's the whole point of you being the politician is the modern day nobleman. They just don't want to call themselves noblemen. A politician is a rich man. To be a politician, you need to have money. Poor people don't become politicians. Even in the UK, if you look up most politicians, they're business people. They have their own corporations or whatever, and then they go into politics because they're nobles. But that's how it was in the ancient world, like to a degree. Your nobles were the man them that's got the big estate, and they know how to run their shit's running tight. So then that means they can now help the wider to run that too, because they know they have the knowledge and the means to get it done. That's what a noble is. Nobles were usually supposed to be the wise men that had the means and the money to guide everyone else that was around them, right? So these guys are noble. Now you got to think about it yourself, right? If you see, the first thing I would do, like say you got an education system, and I look at my education system, our education secretary, I look at it, I say, hold on, this ain't working. First thing I do is like, where does it work? Where does it better? Let me go there and find out what they're doing, and then take what they're doing over here and see if it could work over here. How come they don't do that? You look at the school system in Japan, right? School system in Japan, they make the children come into school, or it's China and Japan. They make the children come into school early and clean the school. And that's why Japanese people, Chinese people are fucking clean as fuck. In the World Cup, they stayed behind to clean up the stadium because it's built into them not to leave anywhere dirty. And I respect that, because that's how you should be, because there's nothing I fucking hate more than fucking litter and the destruction. And it affects your mindset. That's why the ghetto is designed to destroy your mind, because it's destroyed. There's fucking potholes everywhere, rubbish everywhere.
Like you're living in a fucking
and if you live in a rubbish heap, you're gonna think like a rubbish heap. And I know, like, you could tell an area, the type of people that live there by how much rubbish and all that is on the floor. And it's their mindset. They're gonna eat it and just throw that. And you see your own environment. You come to a position every day, you go to a bench where these youths sit every day and there's nothing but rubbish around it. If you go to that Richmond or Leamington Spa, where them kids hang around will be clean. Because they'll take this shit, put it in a bag, and go put it in a fucking bin. It's a mindset thing, but that mindset is not being put into them. In Japan, they do that. So why don't they do that here? Because they don't fucking care. They don't care about making any kind of difference or improving the people. It's not about that. It's just about controlling the people and dumbing them down and keeping them in a position where you can oppress them the best way you can. And that's all it is. They're not about enlightening people or finding a better way to do it, a better way to teaching the people, like, okay, you know what? Like the toilet, you're supposed to sit on the toilet and your knees are supposed to be higher. They know that. Then why don't they design the toilets like that? They don't. But they could. But they don't. Because they don't give a fuck about you and your health or anything like that. They're just assholes. And that's what I mean about prudence, man. When you got leaders that actually care about righteousness, that care about profitability, that care about the people and making life be the best it can be, you'll get that because they're in that position. What does the Bible say? Give me Micah, what is it? 2:1. When you're in a position of power and influence, you have the power to do things which are good, just the same way you got power to do things which are bad. Because people will listen to you, people will be influenced. You have the power to change that. They don't want to change it for the better.
Now, this is the book of Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand.
That's right, because it's in the power of their hand. These people that's running this society, things don't have to be the way it is. They're making it purposely like that. They're influencing the people to be into self-destructive lifestyle. They're influencing them to be toxic. They're instituting things which destroy the family and not the other way around. They could easily do the opposite. They could easily do the opposite, man. The same way they're pumping feminist ideology, they could pump the righteousness of it, man. But they don't want to do that. You can make righteousness cool if you wanted to, but they don't want to make righteousness cool. They don't want to, man. You know what I mean? They're demons, and this is the result.
We're the wicked. That's it.
That's why you got a Barbie film promoting what? Feminism. They didn't have to promote feminism through Barbie. And by the way, let me give you some understanding on Barbie, right? Barbie was not a new thing. Barbie was a copy of a German sex doll called Lily. Real talk. Barbie, if you go look it up, type in German Lily doll. If you put the German Lily doll and the Barbie doll next to each other, it's exactly the same thing. They copied the German, it was a sex doll because it started off as a sex image. The blonde, that's why that blonde image, it was a thing for men, like porn. And then they took that porn of Lily and turned it into a doll that men could have. So it's like a doll of Lily. So it's like that's the original sex doll. And then so they took these demons from America, took the sex doll, right, and replaced the babies that the door. Remember, children, little girls used to play with babies to get them used to being maternal. They're copying their mothers so that they get used to the idea that they're gonna grow up and be mothers and look up and be motherly. Yeah. And even in the Barbie film, they show you in the film where they took the Barbie came and they threw the baby dolls away and started playing with Barbie. And what did Barbie just teach them to be? Materialistic, modern day women. Instead of nurturers and carers, right? So they took a sex doll, copied it, called it Barbie. Now, what's Lily? Who's Lily? Well, Lilith, the mother of demons. You know, this man is the devil, bro. These men are the devil. Oh, I'm gonna do a video on it when I get round to it, just to show you. I'll show you the images and all that. Everything, this whole society is witchcraft. That's what we mean about it's tainted.
Yep.
Here it is, you're buying your child a Barbie, and you don't know it's specifically designed to destroy that child's mind and put demons on them. Because why would someone do that? Would you do that? Would you take a sex doll and copy it and turn it into a doll for little girls? Who does that?
The wicked.
Where they do that? Yeah, Esau. They do that.
We know that industry that run by, right? Okay, then.
Yeah. Coming with them conspiracies. Trying to get the sniped up.
I leave that to your own conclusions, you know. I didn't inspire anything.
I make no conclusions. That dude from what's it called? Fourth Kind. You come to your own. I make no conclusions. I just speak the facts. Come to your own conclusions. Yeah, man, it's all witchcraft, man.
It's in Proverbs 9:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn.
Right? Why are the people going to mourn? Because first of all, there's going to be oppressive tactics, which we see. Nothing but oppressive and exploitative tactics. Parasitical tactics, because Esau's nothing but a parasite that's sucking, like sucking off the people. right? And then on top of that, they're going to get people to work against their own interests. And that's what this kingdom is all about. This kingdom is let's put it in a nutshell. This kingdom is about finding a way to get people to do things which is self-destructive and against their own interests, but think it's in their own interests and think it's productive. And that's all we see. We see people doing things which are self-destructive, inconvenient, but they think it's convenient and productive because of the propaganda. Witchcraft. To this day, niggas is still thinking drug dealing and that is the thing to do. There's still niggas walking around like, yeah, man. Bro, it's obviously a net negative. It's been a net negative. Why are you still carrying on that shit? Go do some fucking work, even if you're better off just doing the bare minimum and go work for cash in hand and being a laborer than selling drugs. There's nothing good from that. It ain't working out. Oh man, you know, there ain't no opportunities. Yo, my nigga, go join an agency and go do some minimum wage work and build yourself up. Make your opportunity, man. But there ain't no opportunity. You're in fucking London, but there's plenty of opportunity. You just want to be a drug dealer because you're an idiot. You think it's gonna bring some benefit to you. Fucking moron. Go fucking get a job, man. There's jobs out there. They need carpenters. They need all them, man.
But they're more concerned about the ego over everything else, man. They think being a drug dealer gets some respect. You know, because they can drive around in the cars and have women around and people scared of them and that. Rather than working in a factory somewhere or whatever, you know.
Nigga ain't seen Scarface, like, what the fuck, man? Shit.
Yeah, man, you don't go out like that.
You're listening to all these rappers and you think, you know.
Stop hanging around the rappers, man.
Stop hanging around rappers. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Mace is a joker. Stop hanging, they ain't gonna back up what they say. Hey, because Rick Ross ain't selling drugs. Is he? It's fucking correctional facility.
It's Isaiah 29 and verse 9. Sustain yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Yeah, like, you look at the situation like the gender war. What is the purpose? Man and woman are supposed to come together and have a relationship in order to produce the next generation. Now, when you produce that next generation, you want that product to be of high quality. You want a high quality product. It's your investment. You're investing in a child. You got to look at a child as, if you look at it on a spiritual level, because we reincarnate, you're coming back through that product that you created. Right? That product that you're creating right now, not only are you going to have to rely on that product more than likely when your ass get old, yeah, and you can't do nothing for yourself, you're going to rely on these products, yeah, but that's probably going to be your great grandmother or your grandmother or related somehow. So you got a lot of interest in producing a high quality product.
Set yourself up right.
Now, if the goal is to produce a high quality product, and you need a family to do that, and you need a functional family to do that, right? Why is that not the priority? To produce a high quality product. It's a short-term liability, but a long-term asset. You want to maximize that asset in the end being of worth, being of value. So if it's a man, you want to create a boy, you want to create a man of value. If it's a woman, you want to create a woman of value. But you got to have a setup and that produces that.
And the man's value and woman's value are two different things.
They're two different things.
They're not the same. They're not meant to be going for the same things.
But here it is. It's like, obviously, that the way the ideology that's being pushed now is not producing good products. It's broken. The whole production line. Horrible. Oh, you a horrible fighter. No, it's like you can obviously see that the quality of the product that's being produced ain't good, and it's worse because that low quality product then will produce another low quality product. And it's like man's are oblivious to what's happening. Each generation that's following these ideologies, this feminism and all these wicked ideologies, is producing a bunch of demons that's running around Oxford Street doing flash mobs and balloons and all kind of crazy shit, man. They're completely disrespectful. They don't respect their elders. They wild. They just broken, immature. But we still want to go along with feminism and all this foolishness, man. When it don't work, it evidently don't work because it has yet to produce a generation that is of high quality in any way, shape, or form.
It prevents Jake from building.
Yeah, it's destructive.
You know, that's why Jake can't build shit, man. That's why Jake always fucking fucked up. Every generation that comes on, they're fucked as the next. You know, because the right time, and the right quality, you know, knowledge and wisdom won't pass on to them, man. The correct upbringing won't given to them.
It's mad, and you're watching these people debating and stuff. It's like, what's there to debate anymore? The experiment ain't worked out.
It's lost.
The experiment has not worked out. Or how many times do you like? How do you, if you fucking create a factory, right? And we're bringing in a new production system, and you bring in that production system, and every time you run that production system, the products are coming out broken. At what point do you say, yo, this new production thing ain't, we need to go back to what was producing quality? Because this thing right here, everything's coming out broken.
And you need to get rid of them. Right? If you set up, you know, that Korean movie Battle Royale? You watch that? The Japanese government, or Korean government, whatever, right? You know, just banged up a bunch of children that were just lost in it. They lost, they finished. And they said it was an island to kill each other, man. You know? Yeah, the game, isn't it? The game.
It's mad. People are still trying to, like, we need to refocus, man, because the children, when I was growing up, yeah, I actually heard people say this, and you never heard anyone say this today. I guarantee you. The older Benjamites where I was from would be like, yeah, the children of the future, just randomly, just, yeah, man were concerned with how the youth them were growing up and all that.
No.
Respect for the elders. Like when I was growing up, man, you would get, if you didn't respect elders, you get fucked up on spot. I remember one time I walked past like my yard, there was an old lady living like up so. Like, so her yard was up some steps, and I have to walk past her house to get to my house, yeah? And I was walking home, and I walked past, I didn't even see her. She was sitting up on a like porch or whatever, and I didn't see her, bro. I'm telling you the truth. And I walked past her, right? Boy, listen, like later on in the day, like my dad just come and I'm getting whooped, like I'm getting whooped. I'm getting beat. Yeah, you walk past, you know, Miss Ann, and he didn't say hello. Just for that, I got whooped off the bat because it was seen as a disrespect. You don't disrespect elders like that. You don't get that. You don't get that no more. That's broken. That's seen as archaic. You shouldn't be like that. And then so now what you see is these youths, they get in the bus, they disrespecting all the elderly people and
they're disrespecting the driver. They're
disrespecting everyone, man, because they ain't raised right, man. And then so what's gonna happen when these people, when you get old and you don't give a fuck about you, just an old back. And this place is fun.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, 30 and verse 3. He that teaches his son grieves the enemy.
They don't want you to do that. That's why they set up a situation where the media and the school system and the friends, that is the main thing that teaches children today is the media through music and movies and these things, that shows that they're watching, what's happening in school, and the other friends. Even this is the same product. Reaffirm with the thing. Like now, like if you go to most countries like outside the West, children spend a lot more time with adults, with their parents, than they do in the West. In the West, children spend more time with other children in school and with the TV. And it's designed that way. So they've disconnected the previous generation from the current generation. And that's how they were able to bring all of this destructive programming into the minds of the youths. And then now they've grown up and look what they've produced. Because this is all a new thing. This is a new thing that they've brought in. And you see how quickly things have gone downhill. Quick. They don't play that shit in places like Nigeria. In Nigeria and that, like, you can't even get, if you get on a bus, yeah, and you allow an old person to be standing up while you're sitting down, you get beat on the spot. One man told me one time they bought a youth, he was Nigerian, but he was in America, and he was being bad. He must have went back to Nigeria, and he was living with they sent him back to be with his grandparents. And he told me that the kid, there's a young man, teenager, he started effing and being to his, like, fuck off, the man getting beside themselves. One farmer done, because you know, out in the countryside, it's different to the city. Like, even if you go to places like Nigeria and Ghana, the city is westernized as compared to the country. The country look at the city people like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I can't even, because they're watching all this American shit. They changed. So you can't play the shit that you play in the city or the country. So he was out in the country and he called himself effing and fuck you and all this stuff to his grandparents. Like, my man to come. And the only question he asked is, who's this boy? And when he found out that that's his grandson, and he see what he was doing, and he had the lass in his hand, chop him up there and then. Pieces. That's how serious. It was like, wait, hold on. You're talking to your grandparents like that? Chop it. Yo. Meanwhile, over here, disrespect. Bro, straight choppings, real talk. But Esau, man, Esau creates an environment to produce these ungodly bastards, man. And he wants, man, in the country, they'll say that root. They want them to be like that. It's bullshit, man. Honor your mother and father. The Bible even tells you that a child is supposed to view their parents as a master. Yep. Like you're a slave to them. These youths nowadays, they think they're their own, they're their own, you know, they're their own thing, telling you about what's fair and what ain't fair. Oh, you can't tell me what to do. It's not fair. It's not right. What do you mean it's not right? I would have never told my parents, you can't tell me what to do. You're making me do things. What?
That's true.
I'm thinking to myself, what's happening here? These fucking kids got rights.
I'll be like, you know what? Go through your own house, innit? Go out there, innit? Because you think you can do it by yourself, go do it, innit?
So nowadays think they got rights, man. But where did they get that from? It's mad, man. I'm shocked. Even my own youths, I'm shocked, man. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck is going on here? You fucking little sperm.
That's it. The tainting, the corruption.
Yeah.
You know, that's what Esau promotes in this world. That's what we need to get away from, man, because it's damaging. It's damaging, man.
It's getting bad.
You know, man. Ain't check the camera.
Should be alright.
Yeah, it's cool. Just hadn't thought about it, innit?
And before his friend, he shall rejoice of him. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead.
But that's the whole purpose, man. The tradition, the way of being, the knowledge is supposed to pass from one generation to another. The right way. And once you have that right way established, yeah, you pass it on to your son. And you instill it in them when they're young. And then when they grow old, they have a children and whatever, and they pass it on. And that's called tradition. But Esau basically intercepted all that so he could interject his new age bullshit, man.
Esau's become their father.
Through the TV and all this shit.
Yeah, you're the father of the devil.
Yeah.
That's what he's produced. Satan's born on earth, man.
So now, like, these motherfuckers are growing up, yeah, and they're learning from rappers and Nicki Minaj. And that's why they got interviews with these fuckers constantly. And so now, children, you could hear these fuckers talk. Like, who cares? Like, and they talk about everything. And so, think of it: a child will sit there. They would spend more time listening to their celebrity talking than their parents. And now the next thing now is porn stars. Why are everyone interviewing porn stars? Who gives a fuck what a porn star has to say? When did this happen? Porn stars, prostitutes, like, who gives a fuck? Who ever give a fuck about this? Prostitutes don't talk, they fuck. That's it. No one cares what you got to say. Yes, so tell me, huh? 1,000,001 is on TikTok, and they get on TikTok with children could be on TikTok, and a porn star's interviewing, giving you advice on what? Advice on what? It's too much out there now. This is what the youths are being raised on. Podcasts where managers chatting shit. And they'll rather listen to some dickhead on a podcast than their own parents. To them, their parents are, who are you talking about? You don't know nothing. Oh, you got the old way. This is the new thing.
So Proverbs 22, verse 6. to train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
You have to train a child. You have to stay on top of children. The folly is bound in the heart of a child. What the rod will drive it away. You have to train up a child in the way that they should go. If you ain't training them, someone else is training them.
That's the point. The problem we have now is Esau's the one training them, and they're stubborn. These children are stubborn as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not prepared to do what you tend to do because they don't respect us.
Well, guess what?
The adult, you know?
The younger years of a child, and this is even that CIA brought it up, they're like a sponge. So a child will believe anything in the early years, right? So that's why Esau tries to get your children as early as possible, because
that's why you bring in all LGBT and the
right
early schools, and
because they'll believe it. Whereas before, that child would be with the mother and the father and the close-knit family. So they're listening and learning directly from what they're saying for the first early years of their life, right? And that's in them. Now it's like nursery, this, that, and the other, and they're taking in all kind of conflicting bullshit. And then you're now having a battle. When they come home and tell you one thing, you got to try and correct them. And they're confused now. It's like, but you're telling me you sent me to school to learn, and I'm going to school to learn from my teacher, but then now you're telling me something different than what my teacher told me. And now they're in a state of confusion. And then they go into the teenage years. By the time they become an adult, they've had more input from the world than they have from you. And it's sad because both parents got to work. Really, homeschooling is the best way, but you got to be able to afford to homeschool. Because Esau's made it where you can't really survive too tough on one income unless the father is on like 100 grand. 100 grand.
And then it goes in short supply.
Yeah.
I'm getting short.
Well, apparently GMS ain't got none of them jobs because we don't work. So how you gonna be homeschooling? You know what I mean? Bums can't homeschool. And then so you face that issue, man. Then you can't hit them a certain way, because if they go to school and say that you hit them, that's another issue. Now, when I was growing up,
no one had an issue.
Bro, you got beat in school. When I was growing up, and school was better. When I was in school in Montserrat, school was under discipline. Now in Montserrat, it's fucked because you can't hit your kids because it's all been westernized. The man will come and beat up the teacher, teacher beat them. When I was in school, there weren't no fucking bullying. I'm being honest with you. I didn't hear about no bullying. The older kids did their own thing and we did what we did. No one bullied us. There was no bullying. We had a fucking cricket pitch that was in the middle. Whoever came out first got that cricket pitch. Even if it was young. I remember one time we came out, we got it, yeah? And the older lot were pissed, but they couldn't do nothing because it is what it is. Whoever got on that pitch first come, first serve, innit? So we were like, yeah! You know what I mean? And we could use the proper pitch even though we couldn't even play cricket properly, right? Right? That's why they were pissed. Like, it's youth, yeah, but you know, that's how it is. And you used to get beat, you know, in school. If you didn't do your homework, you got beat. You know what I'm saying? They weren't people being horrible to each other like that. Look at all the shit that I face when I come here to England. All this unruliness in the classroom never happened when I was in Montreal. Unruly what? The man would get beat. And then if your parents find out you did some foolishness, you get double the beating.
Because correction is not abuse. Right? Because that's why you make it sound like those, you know, parents whooping on man.
Yeah, but
because they're angry and being aggressive. No,
guess what?
Correction is not abuse.
Man's new to teacher. More time, your parents went to school with the teacher, or the teacher was close family, and that's how it's supposed to be. But we just live in such a disconnected and messed up society. It's just disconnected, messed up, and it would be seen as abuse for the teacher to correct the children, or vice versa. Really, in Montserrat, going to school was like an extended family because of the relationship that it had. Like your teacher might be your uncle, like you know, them ones, like it's them ones there, or your godfather, and them ones, man. Yeah, yo, people used to get beat. Listen, man, people used to get beat at school, at assembly. Like man's parent would come at assembly and whoop them, man, in front of them, and the teacher's there because you're getting whooped, and it's embarrassing. It's what it is.
But it teaches you fear, man. It teaches you not to act up like a fucking idiot.
Oh yeah.
You know, because you don't want to be embarrassed again. You know.
Oh, you could get whooped by random people. So that's why you was on your.
Anyone can get it.
You had to be in good behavior when you was out on the streets. Not like these lot running around Oxford Street now doing madness. These youths are running around doing crazy because they know no one ain't gonna check them. It's sad, man. It's sad what's happened, man. But this is deemed as progressive and the better way.
It's destroying people. Yeah. I'm pretty sure mine.
Why do you leave? Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he has left one behind him that is like himself. Why did he live? He saw and he rejoiced
because really ultimately what you want is, you know, your children, you know, you got a son, you got a man, you want it to be in your image, man. That's what you have a child, it's your image, right? So you instill things in him that's good.
That's right? What the most I do.
Try and give them everything that's good about you, trying to avoid the good you may have, right? Try and raise up better than yourself. You know, to continue and make those progressions, to be really progressive, right? To add on to build, right? But he's not dismantling shit, man, and feeding them bullshit, man, GMO shit, and all kind of cancers.
Making them weaker, dumber, more evil, wicked, more impulsive, desire based.
And this is the image of Esau, though, on how he sees and wants things, you know. And he doesn't give a shit about the children, though. That's why
the more impulsive the children are, the more products they'll buy. That's why they got all these damn fucking toy adverts. That's how they get you. These damn, and you know the worst thing about these fucking toys? Yeah, is that they never like how they are in the advert. Like the Hot Wheels advert would be like, oh, they think the thing's fire blazing coming out. It's not like that in real life. And then you end up buying these kids these fucking toys and they don't fucking play with them. They play with them for like a short amount of time and it's done. But you see, like my grandmother's age and that, it was better for them because their toys, they had to make them. So when you make the toy, you're gonna fucking play with that toy. You speak to, that's why you gotta speak to the old. Listen, I love listening to the old lot and how they live and realizing that they had a good childhood without the PlayStations and all this stuff. Because them man would find a wheel, make a wheel and spin the wheel and do things and be engineer. And it wasn't based upon consumerism. Now, for a child to enjoy life, you have to spend, constantly spend, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, buy that. Constantly getting, and then you end up with a whole bunch of bullshit that they only use for like a fucking short amount of time. And you just fed the fucking commercial beast. That's all it is. Turn on these cartoon channels and it's just advert after advert, the stupid toy that they're gonna say they want, so, and he's just feeding into the fucking consumerism. That's all it is. It's bullshit, man. Go do some art, some craft, and you know what I mean. Go outside and just play. Go run. Go find something to do. And then that's another thing. Kids then get into this mode that they have to have all this bullshit in order to just find something to do. You know what I mean? Us man used to have nothing and find something to do and be cool. Make up a little game and do a little thing. These youths can't do that now. They're bored. Every 2 seconds they're bored. A child should not be fucking bored. I was never bored when I was a child. Man, I'll go fucking look at a tree. You know what I mean, bro? What do you mean bored? These kids now, they're always bored. I'm bored. If you don't have an iPad in their hand, I'm bored. What do you mean you're bored? You do a fucking cartwheel. Bro, I'm lying though. Come on, man. These kids are always fucking bored. So you gotta buy an £800 fucking PlayStation 5.
They constant stimuli, man. It's a bullshit stimuli, you know.
And it always costs. Yeah, because Esau's programmed them that way. They have to buy, man. Buy. They have to have McDonald's. Yeah, you said, man. Mama would be like, fried chicken at work, fried chicken at home. It was good chicken too. But commercialism, that's all it is, man. Turning them into fucking little everything's about them. Me, and what I want this, I want that. Spoiled fucking brats. Oh, just let them live, the children. They gotta enjoy their childhood. So they never learn to do anything. They never get no responsibilities. So by the time they so-called become an adult, they don't even know what it is to be or become an adult. Because they've never done nothing. They never had no responsibilities, man. Them man growing up back in the day, man, had to wake up and go feed goat when they're like fucking 10. When they're 9 years old, you need to wake up in the morning and go feed that goat. What's that teaching them? Like, yeah, you got responsibilities, and even if you don't feel like getting up, you need to get up and do that. They can still go and play afterward, but at least they got some little bit of responsibility. These youths now don't do shit, and they're still fucking complaining. I'm being honest, man. What the fuck do they do? Except play.
Yep.
Yeah, they're children. They should just play. No, the child is supposed to be, you're supposed to be gearing them out of that to by the time they're 12, 13, so that they can start becoming an adult, man.
Because this is what to my boy, man. Look, you spend a very small time being a child, you know, and you have to get ready at an early age to become an adult, because you're going to spend most of your time being an adult.
Man,
you know?
Most of these men are 21 and they never had no responsibility.
That's what I mean.
It's a joke. Just big kids doing balloons.
And everything is taken for granted, everything is given to them. You know, I had my boy one time tell me it's not fair that when I come home from school, you let me do my homework straight away, because I just spend the whole day at school. But I got to fucking work. When I come home, I don't necessarily have to, you know, just chill out as soon as I get home. But, you know, I told him one time that you said you got time to play. Who told you that?
Yeah, exactly.
They assume that that's what they deserve after. No, I don't want that. That's not what you're going to do, innit? You know, you'll play when I say it's time to play. You know? But, you know, it's hard to keep track of all that and how to manage all that when, you know, the mothers are softy, isn't it? You know? Because you rely on, this is the thing, this is why you need kind of both parents around to manage all of that, man. But when out working and stuff, it's like, who's really enforcing all of this? It's hard.
It's hard, man, because it's the setup. The general environment and setup is against you.
Yep.
And that's what Esau's done. He's made it hard for you to have that community, to have that connection, to have that, you know,
solidarity.
That community, man. Like, it's true. Community raises children. It's not just the mother. And that's another thing they show that's proven. Your children do take outside influences. So your outside influences are supposed to be important. But really, your outside influence would usually be your aunties, your uncles, your cousins. Now your outside influences, Tupac, fucking Pookie from down the road you don't know, like just some random people that live dirty, and that's the people they're hanging around with and they're listening to.
Yep.
Dirty people. Because there ain't no proper community, there isn't no solidarity of morals and all these different things.
Yeah. Everyone's out for themselves now, they're selfish, you know. They've got no real care for one another.
Yeah, there's no network. The network's gone. Bullshit, man. Dirty people, that's what it is.
I just want to say, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
That's right. You know, them bonds. You keep the same bonds, familial bonds, friendship bonds, and the enemy can get dealt with, you know. But all that's broken down and it's all destroyed, but it's gonna come back. The kingdom of heaven is gonna bring all of it back, and it's all gonna be fixed like overnight. Everything's gonna go back to how it should be, and the way of this world is gonna be done away with. Because Esau's not gonna. The setup is gonna be completely different, and the world is gonna be set up to proliferate life, whereas right now it's just set up for Esau's arrogance and his wickedness to continue. That's all it is. Esau's arrogance and wickedness.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds, and his bowels will be trouble at every cry.
Yeah, man, you can't always be like overprotective of, you know. You gotta let man, and that's the balance, the wisdom of knowing, like, you know, putting them through things, but then obviously you don't want them to get broken. So it's a balance when you're raising up children, man. But that's gone now. All it is just like bow down to the child, to their every want and desire, and push them into the school system for them to fuck their minds up, and then feed them on Cardi B and fucking whatever these other young nigger rappers are in terms of popular media, and yeah, just turn them into demons. So that's it. They can go out there and maybe work for Esau somehow and buy some products that they can't afford. Obsess over Jordans and foolishness. and whatever is the in thing at the time. They ain't even got their own, you know, they're just drones, slaves to the commercial industry.
Genesis 6 chapter 11. The earth also was corrupt before the Most High, and the earth was filled with violence.
Yeah, man, you see that. Filled with violence, you stabbing each other, killing each other constantly. They can't get together in one place without there being violence, man. Especially the youth. The youth are the worst.
The Esau has made this world corrupt. As we've been going on our lessons, corrupt. Esau's corrupted everything, man. You know, and everyone's corrupt. You know, using the earth, corrupting the earth. You know, abusing themselves. All right. So they say it's full with violence, and I said there's always there's some murders going on, wars going on.
Yeah, you hear about children killing their parents, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a madness.
You got parents killing their children. You know, you got all kinds of things going on, man.
Robert sits there watching one thing the other day. The girl stabbed up an 8-year-old brother or whatever. It's a madness, man.
Verse 12, and God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. All flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
Yeah, all flesh had corrupted the way. Look at it. It's mad. All the girls out here, all sluts, they're dressed like sluts. The boys out here, just waste, man. Like, you know, corrupted by this world, man. Corrupted by the media, and TikTok, and the way, you know, this new age bullshit, man. It's not real. They got all access to all the information, or they're all dumb. They don't really know anything. They don't know anything of any worth. Even they go to school and they still don't fucking know nothing. They don't know no geography, and they learn geography in school. They still don't know. They don't really know no history. You grab the average teenager today, man, they don't know shit. They don't know anything, man.
Just balloons and things.
Just balloons and that. Yeah? There's fucking morons, man. They don't know. They don't understand any. They're not even beginning to understand the virtue of anything. They're not looking deeper into anything, really.
No appreciation.
They got no appreciation for anything. They're not enlightened beings. They're dumbed down, if anything. The school, they really shut their brain off. They don't even want to learn outside of school. And that is the biggest problem. Like, if you try and like sit a youth down to watch a documentary, man, good luck, man. You better go find all 7 Dragon Balls, yeah, and make a wish, because they're not watching no document. They're not watching nothing educational outside of school. Once they leave school, their mindset is, I have to. I'm done learning. I'm like, life is for learning.
I think you're always learning in life.
You're always learning in life. Why can't you watch a documentary on well, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to know that? They don't like knowledge. They just like entertainment and folly. That's all they like. That's the shit. But I don't understand it, because when I was growing up, I loved a good documentary. I used to like watching science documentaries, man. I like Spider-Man and entertainment. I used to read a lot of shit, so you could build up a good general knowledge. These youths ain't got no general knowledge.
I had a life class, you know, go and rent some books out.
To the fucking library, man. Them man just want to play on the PlayStation and watch drama. You know, it's bullshit, man. It's corrupt.
All that knowledge that they got is from movies, man. It's just fictitious. You know, it's made in the
studio. And they don't even learn from that. Bro, they don't, because when they watch a movie, at least when you watch a movie, they'll talk about a place in the earth. And they don't even retain that knowledge. They don't even retain, when they're watching a movie, they don't even learn. Their brain is not actually consuming. They're only consuming propaganda. They're not actually consuming any kind of knowledge that might be in the film. Like the film might be based in Germany. They still don't know what Germany is. They'll think Germany is a city, but I'm telling you, they're mad.
Well, there might be like a underlying story that's goes over there.
Calm down,
Verse 13 says, and God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
Now the Lord's going to do that again, but this time he's going to use fire. He's going to use a destructive fire to bring judgment. And you can see why. Because this place is ungodly And the vast majority of people are ungodly, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse, man. You look at what's going on. Like, it's getting worse. These youths nowadays are like GMO. They're the worst you've ever seen. There's LGBT, like, is just exploding. On a body, man. Like, where did you do that at, man? When I was growing up, man. Listen, man, I don't remember that much batty, man. When I was in my, there was like, I think in our school there was like, in our year there was like one batty boy, and he got murked. Like, he was a white boy as well. There were no black boys, you know, batty, man, and like lesbians and all this kind of stuff. What do you mean, like? What do you mean? Like, listen, like, you ain't getting no ratings for that. Like, what do you mean? How are you gonna come and talk about your batty, man? Yo, speak to you. Now, everyone's fucking it. It might as well be like, it's mad. In them younger generations, man, it's just mad. It's gays everywhere.
They do that program for me, so man. Corrupt is their way. But that's not how man and woman should be, right? Doesn't make any logical sense. But you brand this, you tar this thing with love, and then that's acceptable. Not in the eyes of every father. You know? Not in our eyes, you think.
That's why the fire is going to have to come to cleanse it up, to bring a new one.
That's right. Impossible.
Impossible. This is Isaiah 5:20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
All right. Yeah. No, there's so many examples of that, man. Like, everything which is good, they've turned against it. And they come up with goofy arguments. Do people abuse, like, for instance, right? Yeah, there are people that beat children and abuse children. That doesn't mean that disciplining the children and beating children is wrong. It just means there are people that abuse that situation, and that's wrong. Because you're not supposed to abuse. You're not supposed to, like, just, the Bible tells you you're not supposed to be a lion among your household. You're not supposed to be abusive. There's a difference. But that doesn't mean you can't beat children. But for these people, anytime you beat children, it's abusive now. And they come with a soft shit. And then wonder why the youths them don't respect you. Because they don't respect you. Because you ain't beating the hell out of them when it's necessary. And then sometimes it is necessary to get that respect, because you shouldn't be debating with the youth or whether they should be listening to you or not. They should respect and be around you on their best behavior. They should be. When you got to spend all that extra time explaining, giving up explanations as to why you told them to do something, it's because they're second guessing you. What do you mean second guessing? Just do what the fuck I told you to do. It's out of control now. Because Esau's made it where it's like, oh, you're crazy if you do that. The way I grew up, man, they're seen as evil now. It's evil. But I don't care that I got whooped. When I got whooped, man, and I learned what to do and not get whooped, and that's the right thing. And that's why to this day I show respect onto my elders, man. But then look at that little bitch ass, my cousin. What he did, he didn't get whooped enough. But he was hella disrespectful.
I think these chastisings that so they're fleeting things. Like I said, you're only a child for a small amount of time, man. But that small amount of time is important. It's important to direct you where you read it in the scriptures, and then where you go from there. Right. So those beatings you go for that correction, man, set you up for the rest of your life, man. And when you get older, you understand why you got these beatings and why, how it makes you the man today.
Well, basically, governmental authority is good. Right? Corporational authority is good, but parental authority is bad, and that shouldn't happen. The authority of a husband is bad. It's just inherently bad. It shouldn't happen. He shouldn't say what to tell you what to do. It's bullshit, man. That's evil. So a husband being a husband is bad. A father being a father is bad. Even your mother really can't have no authority. That's bad. That's saying you're a bad mother. So if you say you can't do this, no. If you tell them not to do it, they're gonna do it. Huh? It's just, oh man, you're just thinking, what is going on here, man? Where does this experiment come from? So many things, they've turned it into evil.
But man. Depends. The end of the
if
album.
he chooses to be a party man, it's okay. How's it okay?
No, he's going to avoid that
Man,
situation.
this man like 2,000 years of generation to produce this asshole, and he's just cutting off the whole thing.
You ain't going to have no grandchildren there. You know?
It's disrespectful.
Where's your line going now? In the fucking dirt. You know? Discontinuation of your line.
Bringing fire and brimstone down on the posterity. Judgment.
The book of Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourners and fadeth away the word language, and fadeth away the old people of the earth in language. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
The earth itself is being abused. It's being overly used. You got places where, because of the consumerism of the clothing industry, which is completely out of control and toxic, whole lakes and all that disappearing on the planet. No one was like, what? Because of Esau's consumerism and toxic nature of people buying clothes to wear once. They want cheap clothing that they could buy to wear once. What kind of madness is this?
Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
Right, because they're not following the principles of Yahweh Hashem El Shai, the laws, man. And the laws lead to what they call, you know, the funny thing is what they call sustainable growth and sustainable living. That's what the law is. The law is sustainable growth. The law is sustainable living. The law is against doing things which hurt people and hurt the life. If the law was instituted, all these men that's doing things which are net negative to life couldn't happen. Because man be like, nah, man, that's not right. I don't care if you're making money from it. That's not right. That's destroying people. That's destroying the planet.
Well, Esau's the worst one to be called about sustainable. Because something sustainable takes time, innit? It takes time to do. But he's rushing everything, but he like, you know,
this skin ain't sustainable.
You know, he bringing all the industrialization of everything, trying to speed things up to the mass. He's trying to push everything out. He ain't trying. That ain't sustainable, evidently. So he's the worst one to talk about sustainability. But like I said, you know, the scripture is for life. You know, eternal. It's for all time, right? Increments. You know, in living.
Yeah, positive. Things are supposed to be positive, man. It's supposed to lead to more growth, not a net negative. So it's Esau's way of living is net negative. When you balance it all out, you've lost. You've lost, man. But just for the sake of making money or some kind of evil lust, they push it forward.
I mean, Esau got robots and machines taking people's jobs. Now no one can fucking work. Like, how's that sustainable? You know, for him and his profit margins, makes sense, doesn't it? But for you as a person on the planet, ain't got fuck all to do now. What does that do?
Because you don't even have your own resources to work. You know, they took that from you. You rely on just being a worker.
You ain't got your own land. You ain't got shit. Oh, tell you everyone to take everything.
So you rely on just being a worker, but he's taking the work. Now you can't even be a model. Listen, you man that's model, you gal that's model out there, AI is about to take that over. Think about it, as a company, right? Why would I pay? Except for the fact that I can use these models as prostitutes, because that's what they really are. But now you can have a whole bunch of, you can pay them models less, because you could just say, well, I'll just use this model, that I own that image completely. There's so many jobs now that Esau's going to get rid of, man. There's people. Writers, journalists. What do you need a journalist for? You've got the AI that can do that. You know, my daughter used it the other day. She was coming, she needed interview questions. And she used that chat.
I never used it.
She used that chat thing and it created the interview questions for her. I'm like, what? And I said to her, listen. And she's like, no, I'm only going to use it when I ain't got enough time to do it. I was like, okay, but make sure you learn how to do it. Like, you know what I mean? But
children always find not enough time to do anything, innit?
Yeah, like a lot of these jobs, these sort of fuck.
Not saying plagiarism.
The law is about life, man. The law is for life. You know? Esau's world is not for life, man. It's not. It's against life.
You read it earlier. Unwise judge destroy his people, man. And that's all Esau's doing, man. He don't give a damn about the people. Esau only cares about himself. The elites care about themselves and living the best life they possibly can at the expense of everybody else. You know. So what happens to you after all this? They don't care. They don't care. Put you on some universal basic income, give you a MOTB, and whatever happens to you happens to you now.
Yeah, you look at, man, our people, man. You really got to go. So I watched some of these things where these guys are trying to help people, South America and all that, man. You hear some of the stories, man. Our people, like fucking poor, man. Yeah, and then for them, the death of a parent is different, man. It hit different. And now all of a sudden, like, you got all these brothers and sisters, and you got to make the money. And you put, like, some of these places where these men are living is like, you forget board box. Ain't even galvanized. They got galvanized iron, like this board box is leaking, and majority of our people live fucking poor, man. Like poor in countries that's filled with resources, man.
There's a lot of these women that end up in prostitution because of things like that.
Because of things like that, and it's like
no other way.
It doesn't have to be that bad for them people. It's because Esau is sucking so much of it for himself, and then so these people are nowhere, man. They're below. They're on some serious poverty. I'm telling you, South America, Africa, and bro, there's some serious fucking poverty out there. And I'm talking about the vast majority of people. Shanty towns, sewage running down the streets, man. It's real, man. Even in America, you get places like that, and it's just like mankind really wasn't meant to be on the earth with so many people living in that condition, because you did a basic condition. You know what I mean? Like, it's below basic, man. It's hell. And this man's running around the earth talking about he's a humanitarian, like, with all the means to actually help these people, man, and to create a system that works better for everyone. But he don't. Now, he's going to sell that. He's going to do that now through the chip. Oh, yeah, we're going to make it fair,
Yeah, we did. You got people bad in the past, yeah, but
now we're gonna make everything equal. Right. Yeah, take this chip so we can fucking Esau, man. He's a devil, man. Yeah, because there's always gonna be people that have more and people that have less. But man, this world takes that to a whole.
Esau's an extreme
level of like.
The elite of Esau are an extreme.
Wow. You know what I mean?
There's no way. Because what they say, 1% own 99% of the wealth of the earth, or whatever it is, whatever the statistic is, man. But these are the same people who are supposed to declare themselves humanitarians and shit, man. They could help, and they set up these charities and organizations, man, only to profit, They're such a non-profiteer, but they are doing it for profit, man, or smuggling, or doing some sort of shady
companies. The amount of profit they made, and they doubled, man.
You want to kill them?
Chill. Not checking it.
But it's frustrating because you're being taken a piss out of, man.
Yeah, they doubled the electricity price, and then they've dropped it now by 20%. They're saying they're gonna drop it by 20%, but you've already made double for the last 2 years for no fucking reason.
No reason.
Oh yeah, but we're doing you a favor. We're gonna drop it by. I worked it out.
Because the reason why they have to go up because they could have to sustain their infrastructure, right? Because the energy prices are more. That's what they said. Right. That's why your energy bills are going up.
Why was you making all that profit?
How did you make profit then? Sure. More profit than ever. Yeah. Scarcity was more than ever. How did you do that?
Satan, man. That's how Satan rolls. Well, go. We read this stuff. We're gonna have to go in a bit.
This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresses thy wine, he is a proud man, never keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
Esau's operating on arrogance. Well, to believe that everything should belong to you is arrogance and pride. It's all arrogance, man. It's extreme arrogance to see someone else has and you believe that they shouldn't have and you should have. It's arrogance. It's pride. And Esau's appetite and covetousness is insatiable. It's insatiable. It's toxic greed. That's never really been witnessed before on the face of the planet. The level of consolidation of wealth into the hands of a few, and then the creation of a system that continues to widen that gap. Yeah, that continues to squeeze
exponentially.
It's like he's squeezing the last little bit.
He gives you no chance to bridge that gap.
It's unprecedented for a man to even be like that. Like, how much do you need? And the thing is, yeah, the reality of the situation is, right, there comes a point when you've got a lot, yeah, that having more makes no difference to you, man. Like, it actually makes no difference, because there's only so much you could do, like, on a daily basis. Like, what can't you enjoy? Like, what's the difference between a billionaire and a trillionaire? Like, it's like, what food are you getting extra? Like, what are you, like, there's only so much of a thing you can have to the point where it becomes pointless. Like, it's like the difference between having 10,000 women and 20,000 women. I'm pretty sure, but when you get to 10,000, it's like, what is 20,000? It's just more, but you can't even enjoy the extra 10,000. Like, it's too much. Like, if you got like 1,000 cars, how can you enjoy it? Like, I can't. You might as well just have the vibe with the 10.
I'm just collecting that.
For what? It's just, it comes a point where abundance becomes like abundance. So why do you want everyone? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you so greedy that the other man can't even have the little?
Pride, arrogance.
It's just pride and arrogance and envy. You know, when you got and you still envying the little that a poor man has. And you're trying to take that little when you already got a lot. You don't even need it. You won't even miss it. It's your own arrogance.
And this is why the rest of these fucking shit. It's not even what he has. Yeah, the rest of you know what? And it's part of the reason why the prophecy of the dream of Daniel received, right? The statue, right? The statue. The head was of gold. Everybody in Babylon was even better or as a kingdom. It's more opulent than all the other kingdoms that came after it.
Yeah.
It became worse and worse. Now we had the clay and the iron there. It's just shit.
There's crackers now that are down bad. Even their own people. They got down bad. They got them down bad. They're on the street. They're on meth. They're like zombies like this, leading up and shit.
Because the distribution of wealth now is so fucking crazy, man.
It's mad, man. It's insanity when you think about what this man has really done. Look at the reality of it. Like, even here in the UK, man, like, there's a lot of crackers living poor, man. Like, in them coastal regions, they're just on drugs and drinking alcohol, man. They're fucked. They're fucked, right? And then they're blaming the EU. But it's the fucking crackers that's right here in the UK, the rich ones, that the 90%, the 10% of the UK population that own 9% of the wealth. That includes the royal family and that. And they own all the stocks, and they own all the shares, and they own all the companies, and it's just a big racket for them to amass wealth and just don't give a fuck about what you got.
And at the same time, they're taxing the shit out of you.
And they're taxing you to fucking hell and back.
You know? Everything got fucking taxed on it.
Oh man, it's so mad.
The purposely kept down.
Then they lend you, when they lend you money through these fucking banks, it's like 40% APR. Like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? But when they get loans, it's like 0% interest or 0.1%. Like, yo, yo, what's going on? Esau, man, the place is crazy, man. And so, you know, mainly our people we're concerned with. That's why the Bible calls us the poor. Because, man, and favelas, it's a serious thing, man. We need deliverance. Where's the Catholic Church on all that? They ain't nowhere. They got all their money. They ain't helping out the favela.
Yeah, man. Pope just goes through and says, yeah, I'll pray for you. That's what they fucking do. But the scripture speaks against that. When you got the ability to help, you're supposed to fucking help.
They got banks. They could be giving all the people in favela loans.
Vatican got their own fucking bank.
No interest. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got the Vatican Bank. They should be loaning out to the favela so they can build up and
all these devoted work. They're fucking devoted, man.
Yeah,
man, they're fucking devoted. Or Caesar Borgia, man, they're fucking devoted, man. But when the Pope goes through, he just I pray for you, I bless you, or whatever.
Yeah, that's why the cartel can come along and give a man peanuts to run some drugs because it's so down bad, and then they end up getting their head chopped off over like 20 pence. because like them men are so poor that the cartel can come and give man peanuts and it's something.
Right, man.
And then you're getting decapitated for like earning like $1 or something. It's mad. Like sometimes you hear the money that they've earned running these drugs, and it's like $1, but for them, like $1's a lot, man. Because they that poor.
That we poor.
Shit, and then you getting your head removed, man. Hey, go on. Hey, man, Esau, man, man, that wine. And then you see more and more what France has been doing in West Africa is getting exposed even more. And then so now people should be waking up like, hold on. So when did the white man change? I thought this man was a fucking humanitarian. When he defeated Hitler, like, I thought that man was like about human needs. No, they never changed. They still running the same games, man. They still running the same games, man. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. Some deals that you're like, yo, that deal is crazy, man. Deal. That's wild. You know, so it changed, man. So now, though, and then the whole world is waking up to how Esau operates, and that's the power of mass media, really. Now the average African can pick up a smartphone, and there's someone explaining to them exactly what France is doing, and that's been like that. So now the average person, in a way, is educated to the ways of Esau, educated to the IMF, the World Bank, and what they do. So it's becoming harder for Esau. It's a double-edged sword. That internet.
That's the law of that work, man. The same experience coming from his kingdom because of the access to the information now. You know, the invention of the unicorn, which is the internet, right? We get able to access more things. People are starting to see it because it's spread globally. So everyone gets to see now.
Colonizer.
You know? So everyone, because people knew, but now they see it. And now it can't be ignored anymore. You know?
Who enlarges his desire of earth and is just death, and cannot be satisfied, and gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
That's right, man. You gotta learn to be. Yeah, everyone wants to have things, but you can't become toxic with your covetousness and your greed.
Like we said at the beginning of the video, balance. There has to be a balance in this earth, and there is no balance right now. You know, that's why there's so much injustice going on, inequality. You know, not all men are equal, but you know, things should be fairer than what they are under Esau. You know,
you gotta let people have something, man. You can't have everything. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you're in a village, yeah, and there's like only like 20 women in the village. Just you're gonna have all 20 women. So you're gonna have a problem. Like, the other man them ain't got no woman, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's not good to take it all. You gotta leave something for someone else, innit? I mean, like, leave something for the other man, them. You know? Come on, man. It's parasitic. It's pride. It's prideful. It's arrogance. The Lord provides for everyone, man. Even the monkeys, them, the Lord provides the banana. Plenty of banana. And then even the animals get provided with something. Why you want to take everything for yourself? Even, you know, when you clean your pots, the Lord said, leave the corners, man. I just want to leave no corner.
Psalm 73 verse 6. So therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence cover them as a garment. Their eyes stand up with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They have more than they need. You know?
There's a place, I forgot where it is in Europe. It's just, they don't even fucking pay tax, but because, like, they don't need to. Like, they can afford to tax you next to nothing. It's just millionaires live there. I forgot the name, and it's like in Switzerland or something like that. There's certain places, like, in Europe where millionaires just live. Like, you might go to this town, and every house is like the guy's worth like 200, 300 million. And then so the place is like, they obviously take care of themselves. When they got a road for their house, they'll just sort the road out themselves. So the local government taxes them like 1% or something. It's like some minimal tax because it's like, look, there's all millionaires living here. You know what I mean? People don't know. And them places won't be on the TV. They won't publicize it as much. But there's loads of places like that in Europe where it's just millionaires, and it's just like, they're all billionaires just living together in these little regions, man. Meanwhile, you got these shanty towns, man, and they got money that you can't even finish.
So their eyes stand up with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt. It's so corrupt, right? and speak wickedly concerning oppression, they speak lustily.
Yeah, they justify their oppression. That's why their whole ideology is, if I could do something and get away with it, then it should be done. If I can oppress you, if I can lie to you, if I can steal from you, and you allow me to get away with it, then it's justified. Mine is right. That is the ideology of these elites and these people up there. It's like, if you're dumb enough to allow me to oppress you and allow me, you're weak enough to allow me to oppress you, then I'm right. That's the do as thou wilt. That's the Luciferian doctrine. If I'll oppress the fatherless, I'll oppress the widow. You know what I'm saying? Because they are the weak, and that is, you know, that they prey upon the people. They're my prey, and so that makes it right. That's the ideology these people have. They're proud about what they do.
You know, his other philosophy is like survival of the fittest. You know, Darwin's evolution thing. He thinks he's at the top, right? So he gets to be the predator. He gets, you know, to do what he wants. He's at the top of the chain.
They'll find every way to blame the favela for being the favela.
Not him.
And never take any responsibility for the things they do. That's how they act. Oh, they're poor because they want to be poor.
Yeah, they should build their souls up.
They should make the right decisions. They're making the wrong decisions. You know, this stuff like, but bro, what about what you're actively doing to
what about yours?
It's gonna justify it, isn't it? Yeah. All right, cool. So anyway,
that was it on that.
Okay. So yeah, you know, with that, you know, hey, that's why we gotta get out of here, man. That's why, you know, there's gonna be a new way. There's gonna be a new kingdom and a new rulership, and we're gonna rule the world differently, man. How it should be ruled, man. With balance and some form of equity with order. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna be there just grinding the people into the dirt, man. Like, that's not profitable anyway, long term. You know, it's not. It's just dumb. It's stupid. It leads to foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Filling the world up with shanty towns, so you can look down at all the shanty towns. Like,
at least,
yeah. It's just, come on, it's like, that's mad. You know? So yeah, with that, say I can't. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and honors you brothers out there in the highways of the Bible. Shalom.